Alright, YouTube. The way I feel about you, but there just ain't no doubt about it. I'm in love. The way I feel about you. Singing the Squirt Dog. There just ain't no doubt about it. I'm in love. Squirt Dog. Whoa, hey. Dude, I'm live streaming, bro. I'm live streaming. You can't get all up in my face while I'm live streaming. You're very handsome. You're very handsome. Oh, bro, the audio. You're messing everything up. The way I feel about you. What? Go lay down. You smell so good, dude. Grandma gave you a bath today. Come on. I'm finding YouTube, see if we're actually live. Awesome. We are live. We are actually live. Squirt Dog. Okay, seriously, go lay down. Can you go lay down, brother? Just for like an hour. I'll give you scratch your butt some more. Come on, go lay down. Go play. Come on, go play. Go back to your pillows, dude. What do you want from me? Oh my god, I got both beagles. Hold on, these guys are being stubborn as all hell today. Let me give them a bowl of food, I guess. Maybe that's what he wants. I'll be right back. Okay, you guys have everything you need. You have fresh water, you got a bowl of food, and then he gets back on the bed. I don't understand. Sorry for the beagle difficulties. Nah, we don't have technical difficulties as much as we have beagle difficulties over here. God, you guys are stubborn. Come on, get up there, Snoopy. The bed's ready for you, brother. Come on, man. Everybody chill. Everybody get in their spots. Freaking lights, camera. Sea of Thieves action. This is going to be a very, 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 very special modern day Chautauqua because I am doing the book of one of my best friends. I think I can proudly say that, even though it sounds like I'm hesitating. He is literally one of my best friends. He is the most loyal friend that I have had in my life at this point now. Yeah, because the people that I think I can trust end up not being trustworthy, you know. There's always like horny dudes that want to talk to your ex-girlfriend, you know what I mean? Dudes don't have standards, don't have trust, don't have loyalty. They say, your friends will say, yeah, I deleted your girlfriend. She started talking to me. And then you come to find out that they were the one that initiated the conversation. You know what I mean? That guy was the one who initiated the conversation. And then he comes to you like a virtue signaling loser. Like he was the good guy when he was the bad guy, you know, and multiple people, not just one person talking to my ex. And it's my ex for a reason. I don't care. Don't talk to her. Don't mention her to me. I don't care. I don't care. I have my own goals. I got my own priorities. I got my own beagles, okay? I don't care if you want to go and have my sloppy seconds. Have my sloppy seconds. I don't care. But I'm not going to talk to you if you do. But anyways, you know, because I got principle. I got principles, bro. You're gonna do that. After that person was a shisty snake, did that to me, and still never to this day apologized. And then you're gonna go talk to her just because you want to get your thang wet. That's weird. And it proves that you were not even a good friend in the first place. And now Matt Bennett has had my ex on the show. But, from his perspective, I kind of understand that. He wants to have guests on his show, and she was already a guest on his show. And a lot of people, they say, people talk, right? shout out to the Boll Weevils, that People Talk song. Love that song. People talk, right? Everybody wants to start a podcast. Everybody wants to be a guest. Everybody wants to do an interview and tell their life story. But when it comes to taking the action to tell their life story, they don't do anything. They give you nothing but excuses. You know, I know so many people who are like, yeah, I ought to write a book. I ought to write my life story in a book. Well, and I'm like, do it. Why haven't you done it? What is stopping you? You know, what's your excuse? They always have one, right? Well, Matt Bennett has written kind of his life story. It's in a kind of a it's not a linear story type of format, a linear story type of tale. It is kind of a journal, right? Kind of like a journal entry type of a book, right? But it's a good read either way. And with these modern day Chautauquas, you guys know what I've been doing. I've been just reading books on these modern day Chautauquas because people don't read books. And so hopefully the idea is in this modern day Chautauquas that people are, you know, if people don't want to read the books themselves to get an education, I will read the book to you guys to maybe try to teach you something. Right? Maybe you might learn something. I don't know. Leave your ears open. Stay tuned and stay gold. You might learn something. But this is going to be a very interesting book. It's different. This is like, you know, when I do my book reviews, I always say I do a serious book review and then I do a not so serious book review. This is definitely falls under the not so serious category because Matt Bennett is not a not so serious type of guy, and that's why I love him. He doesn't take anything seriously, and people need to take that advice. I mean, God, people are just so uptight. And speaking, you know, I'm uptight myself. Like I had a job interview today and it didn't seem very fruitful. And then so now I got to do manual labor all week, like hard backbreaking manual labor all week just to be able to feed myself and my dogs. It's just, yeah, fun. To say that I'm stressed is kind of an understatement for sure. But anyways, the beagles are breathing and they're happy. You guys happy? Old timers passed out over there. So this, like I said, and this is going to be a very special Chautauqua because the book that I'm reading from today is called Drifter Diaries, and like I said, it's journal diary type of format. It's right in the title, you know. He tells you everything you need to know. So speaking of Drifter Diaries, normally for these Chautauquas, I don't sail the ship, right? I don't sail the ship at all. I don't engage in the video game of Sea of Thieves because I do these modern day Chautauquas on this video game Sea of Thieves. So normally I don't go and sail, but this is a very special episode. I kind of want to sail and try to go maybe sink some skelly ships, or basically what I'm trying to say is we're going to end up drifting around, okay? I already got the ship down there decorated, and I can't wait to show you guys the sails, because the sails reminds me of Matt Bennett, because he's a bigger dude. He's a stocky, bigger guy. I mean, he's like tall. He's very tall. He's a tall dude. He is not a short man. But anyways, Matt Bennett is, he's got a huge beard, and he's very tall. And so, yeah, so I chose today's sails, which is, those of you who play Sea of Thieves, I chose Glitterbeard's sails. And so I'm very excited. I want to get out there. I want to get out and sail the ocean, you know, and then we'll tell some tall tales. Tell some drifter tall tales. I'm very excited. This is going to be, like I said, very special episode, because Matt Bennett is one of my best friends. He's very loyal. Like I said, I've been his co-host on Crazy Life Stories podcast. I've been his co-host for, pretty consistently for about at least 2 years. Over 2 years. Over 2.5 years. I think 4 years. He's been doing Crazy Life Stories. Actually, let me look it up on Spotify. And since I'm doing so much talking now, let me crack open an Irish Cricket, because I'm an idiot and I shouldn't have bought these. You know, like I'm literally in. I'm not. No, I'm in debt. I owe Cash App money. I'm in debt to Cash App, so I should not have purchased it. I shouldn't be buying any. I should be starving myself. I shouldn't even be buying food. You know, I should only be buying dog food. I should probably be eating dog food alongside with the dogs. You know, that's how bad it is. But it's okay. We'll make it through. Hopefully, I can find a an actual jobby job, a tax-paying jobby job. You know, on paper, because if I don't pay taxes, I'm gonna get audited, and then I'll probably just go to jail. Like, you know, after, like if I got audited, I would probably just end up going to jail. You know, it's dead serious. But anyways, hopefully I get out of debt this week. Hopefully I get a job. She said I had the interview. She said she's gonna hit me up Wednesday. So tomorrow, instead of having fun and doing awesome stuff outside when it's nice out and going skating and playing guitar, I will be applying for jobs tomorrow. So it's gonna be looking forward to it. Ooh yeah. Um. Okay, I got distracted. Spotify, Drifter Diaries. No, Crazy Life Stories. How long has Crazy Life Stories been going? Because dude, it's been going on forever. Let's see here. Just crazy stories that people have endured. And that's all it says. Let's go to the oldest episode, I guess. 2020 is when he started this. Podcast. But he had a. He had another one. He had another podcast. I feel like I'm forgetting the name of it, but was that his other podcast, Drifter Diary? I forget, because I've been listening to Matt Bennett for a really long time. Dude, October 20, he's got Jerry Springer episode because he does signings. He lives in the Chicagoland area, so he'll go and for his side hustle, even though he works full time and he can't afford to pay rent in his own apartment, which is insane. Imagine working 40 hours at Whole Foods at a company, 40 hours a week, and you still can't afford your own apartment. That is insane. But he does it. He has his own apartment. He's saved up for his own apartment, but now he's stuck at his lease until January. And man, he's got just so many good stories on here. This is the Crazy Life Stories podcast on Spotify. Let me just say that again, just to reiterate. He's got Streets of San Diego preview, Illinois to San Francisco, which is the Drifter Diaries gets into that. Peter's Adventures with Addiction. Bobby Hole, legendary Chicago Blackhawk prank call. I mean, I don't even remember these episodes. It's been so long. Strange Adventures with a Weird Hotel Manager. Forest Preserve Narc. I remember that one. I definitely remember that one. Yeah, in 2020. That was when I lived in, right when we lived in Marion, Indiana. Jerry Springer Adventure. Mental Hospital Band. Crazy Life. More Crazy Life stories on the way. One hitter, you're fired. Got fired from a job because of a one-hitter fell out of my jacket. Dude, he's got some crazy stories. Skatopia Adventures. And this was before I joined in, as a co-host. And then we have the interview that we did at Skatopia. Matt Bennett was my very first interview on Beagle Eye Visions, the YouTube channel. Matt Bennett was literally the first interview I ever did on the channel. First interview I ever did in my life. I think, as far as, interviewing musicians and asking them questions is just doing that kind of, that narwhal type of interviewing the artist, right? On the spot type of interviews. Matt Bennett was the first one, and that was really when I started taking Beagle Eye Visions a little bit more seriously. And I'm trying to find out the episodes of where I started joining in. 5,000 on TikTok. Yeah, he also had a TikTok the TikTok was getting more attention to the podcast. But I don't know if he still does TikTok or what. If he still does TikTok, I might actually download TikTok just for Matt Bennett. Punk Rock Tacos stories, 40 minutes of fun. He's got 40-minute long rant tonight, guys. He's saying, That was March 2022, and he's just been doing this consistently, like every day, every other day, multiple times a week since 2020, and he's still going strong. But now we do it. It's more structured. Now we do it every Sunday night. We record a new episode. So then the new episodes are premiering every Monday. So now it's just with that more consistency, and sometimes whenever he can get random random guests, he'll do an extra episode maybe on the weekend, to try to get more episodes in there, just to get more content. uh, you know 2022, and I still didn't join on these. 2022, I still didn't join, really. Thursday update, crazy Instagram. New Year's Eve, really crazy New Year's Eve. Stay safe, everybody. Ready or not, time to launch. So, Crazy Life Stories. This is just an amazing podcast. Great stories to listen to while you're gaming. And if there's anybody commenting, I'm staring at my fondle slab. Life is amazing. Positive life update, Friday night update. Dude, there's just so many episodes. Oh, I saw Henry, my best guest, back tonight, and that was on the 3rd of July, 2023. And I think that's when, like, that's right when I started getting really consistent here. Yeah, the 10th of July, 2023, recording with Mr. Angry Fuck, aka Henry, has nailed down Sunday. Yeah, yep, nailed down Sunday night. So I'm gonna say we started doing it consistently the 10th of July in 2023, and now it is 2026. So we've been doing this podcast consistently every freaking Sunday night, and there it is with me and the X on the same episode right there. So there's some, very interesting. He's a legend. He's so consistent, super consistent with his work. He hasn't, sometimes I still call off. Like, I'll call off on the podcast episode. Like, hey, dude, I'm too stressed. I don't have much to talk about besides government is slavery, morality is objective. Why the fuck don't people understand this very simple golden fucking concept that a child could understand? I just don't understand. I don't understand why people don't understand. Snoopy is staring at himself in the mirror, dude. What are you doing? I wish I had a camera. Goodness gracious. I really wish I had a camera. But anyway, so Crazy Life Stories. Just posted a new Crazy Life Stories episode. Last week, we have a very special St. Patty's Day episodes on Beagle Eye Visions. So that was kind of like the second interview with Matt. But Matt is such a legend. He's a very good friend. And he's intelligent, right? Like, he used to, when I met Matt Bennett, he was just total alcoholic. And I'm not like throwing him under the bus. He would agree. He would agree with me. Like, he's just get off work, go get a beer, go get off work, go get a beer, get off work, go get a beer. And like I said, he worked full time. So get off work, go get a beer. Like, and he hasn't drank. He said he hasn't drank in 6 years. He just posted like a anniversary on his personal Facebook page. Super happy for, like, what a legend, dude. I wish. I think about quitting drinking, and then it's like nothing's gonna change. And he even talks about that. He's like, I quit drinking, but these jobs are still stupid. These managers are still egotistical psychopaths. It doesn't, like, the only thing it changes is that you're slightly more healthy and you have a little bit more money in your pocket. You know what I mean? That so it's like, even if I quit drinking, like, what would change? It's now I'm like staring at the wall and thinking about existentialism. I probably should get to the book, right? Before I've been ranting for 20 minutes now. But, I'm ranting, tuning into my inner Matt Bennett. You gotta. Freaking love Matt Bennett. Like I said, he's one of my best friends. Most of my friends are dead, and because most of my friends, even if they realize they do have an addiction, they don't quit, and they'll just keep going and chase the dragon down the hole until they are dead. So I guess rest in peace, Ragnar, and Cody, Taco, Hulk. I fucking miss you guys, man. Among other names. But anyways, Matt Bennett is a freaking legend. We're here. We're going to be doing Drifter Diaries for the modern day Chautauqua. So let me get out the Kindle app. You can buy this book for $1. By the way, in case you didn't know, go on Amazon. Go on Kindle. Let me look it up here. It says it's already read. Kindle is an amazing app, by the way. I just gotta say, Kindle gives you achievements like you're playing video games. So the more books that you read on the Kindle app, they give you achievements. They give you new bookmarks that you could use and store them and keep them. You get all these digital bookmarks that got little cool designs on them. It's awesome. I love it. And then the Kindle app, like, it keeps your spot. You know what I mean? It keeps your spot. So you could be reading 5 different books all at the same time. And anytime you click that book, it goes to the spot where you left off. And I think that's so freaking cool that you can read multiple books like that. Dude, in 2026, there is no reason why people shouldn't be reading books. We have audio books, digital ebooks. Ebooks you can get, like Drifter Diaries, you can get books for $1. They have books on sale. I just bought The Prophet, an ebook, for $1. I bought it last week for the book review. So when I'm waiting on a bus, waiting for a bus, and I have the next book review that I just did, The Prophet, waiting on a bus, I can just bust out my phone. I don't have to take the physical book with me and destroy the book, or, people spill stuff or accidentally spill water on my book or destroy it or put it out into the elements while I'm waiting for a bus, whether it's raining or snowing or sleeting or hailing. I'm not destroying the book. I could just use my phone. I'm destroying my dumb Fondle, in quotes, smartphone, Fondle Slab phone. So it's really, there's no excuse for why aren't people reading books? It just doesn't make any sense. It's the $1 million question. I'm going to be asking it every year. Every year on Beagle Eye Vision. Why don't people read books? Put the excuses away. Put your Rolodex of excuses away and read a fucking book. Even if you read one book in 2026, then make that your New Year's resolution. If you fail at quit smoking, the least you could do is read a book, even if it's a 90-page book like Drifter Diaries or a 90-page book like The Most Dangerous Superstition by Larkin Rose. Read a freaking book. All right, so here we are. Let me actually, I'm going to change spots because Sea of Thieves always kicks me. Let me go have fun. Actually, let me get the birdie out. Let me go get Oro Halcon. Oro! Let me get Oro Halcon. By the way, if you guys haven't noticed yet, I'm wearing no clothes. I'm wearing a hat, glasses, and trousers, and that's it. Or no, I'm not even wearing trousers. I'm wearing a hat, glasses, and boxers. Snoopy, where are you going? What are you doing? Why do you have to lay down right there? God, you're such a weirdo. Freaking spoiled beagles, man. Oh, gosh. Oh, no, sorry, buddy. I wanted to set you down. All right, freaking spoiled beagles. Okay, Drifter Diaries by Matt Bennett. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you. So, Drifter Diaries by Matt Bennett. Well, here we go. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome, dude. I love Matt Bennett. I love you. Shout out to you, bro. He's probably at work right now. He's probably got to work all freaking weekend. Because, when you work at a grocery store, you work at retail, you work at fast food, they want you to be miserable. They don't give you a consistent schedule. They don't work with your schedule. God forbid you request a day off 2 months in advance. It's still going to be like pulling teeth for your manager just to get that one specific day off. Oh, we could really need you. Easter's coming up. We got holidays coming up. We could really use you. Give you the serious manager talk. But anyways, here we go. Page 1. This is kind of a short book, so I don't know if we'll do this in 1 part or 2 parts, and I've already ranted for so long. If somebody hits me up to play video games, I'm probably going to ditch the live stream and go play video games and have fun. So, but anyways, The Drifter Diaries by Matt Bennett. Before I get started, I just want to add that I know in the author world, in the writing books world, everything's got to be professional, right? Everything's got to be serious. But when you open up this digital ebook, okay, you see a rainbow array of colors. Okay, the first paragraph is in orange, the second paragraph is in red, the third paragraph is in bright green, the fourth paragraph is in bright purple. The last paragraph on the page I'm looking at my dumb phone. It's colored. All these letters are colored, and it looks so good. It's like it's eye catching. It's not boring, the boring black and white that you always see whenever you're reading literally any book. Black and white, or even if you're reading a physical book, black and white. I love this. I love that he added this color, and it just makes me happy. So here we go. Drifters only, actually, when is there information on this book? Like, when is this book published? When about this book? Okay. The Drifter Diaries are a bunch of short stories about drifting around the USA. It represents the ups and downs of what different lifestyles and different living situations offers. It doesn't say when it was released. Oh, published March 21st in 2023. This book is only 76 pages. Yeah, so we might be able to blow through it. I might do it a two-parter. Who knows? We'll see. The publication date was September 25th, 2014. Very interesting. And he was able to publish this very easily. All he did was write it, publish it, and yeah. And now he's able to make money. But that's the thing. Unfortunately, again, people don't read books because they're lazy, pathetic idiots who are happy being lazy, pathetic idiots. But anyway, and it also says about the author. Matt Bennett is a radical hippie documentary filmmaker in the likes of Michael Moore. This is his first book entailing drifter adventures around the United States, showing the ups and downs of what life has to offer. Matt is from Elmhurst, Illinois, USA. Legend, dude. Love you, Matt. But let's get into his book. Let's get into page 1. Drifters only... This is in all capital letters. Drifters only shop at thrift stores. We buy random colored clothes and wear them wherever we want. A strange outfit that gets someone to stare, or like a random sports team shirt that's not from the city you're from. Like my buddy Vance, who is also a fellow drifter, had a random Dallas Cowboys shirt on last night when he randomly drifted by my parents' house late at night when the block is very quiet just to tell random stories and smoke cigs. Oh, and Matt Bennett also doesn't smoke cigarettes anymore either. It's just pretty amazing. He doesn't smoke cigarettes. He doesn't smoke cigars. Like, he used to smoke a lot of cigars, which are like, back in high school, my buddy in the Johnsons, I'm not going to say his name, just try to, I guess, my buddy in the Johnsons family, he used to say that if cigarettes were cars, cigars are tanks. Like they're detrimental on your lungs. Like cigars are literal tanks. It's so true. And that's another thing he quit. He quit it, and he still works his ass off. He quit all these vices, and he still just works he works 40 hours a week. He doesn't have time to do anything else. He just works and pays rent. House late at night just to tell stories and smoke cigs. Drifters are always listening to random songs by random bands that feel like no one else is listening to. Not like the hipster view. I was about to say, just like kind of, it sounds like hipsters. Not like the hipster view, where they act like they found out about the band before anyone else did. Just in that unique way, where you're pretty sure no one else would be listening to that song. Which is really interesting, because nowadays, there's so much music out there. There's so many different types of genres that it's like when you find somebody who listens to the same artist, even like listening to the Ramones or listening to somebody who listens to Slayer on a daily basis, there are those people who are out there, but it's hard to find. People who listen, like I love Slayer. I don't listen to them on a daily basis, but I still love Slayer. But to find, metalheads, it's so niche. It really is. It's like, it's not the majority of people are not metalheads. A majority of people are just happy slaves who don't appreciate art. Actually, I don't think most people appreciate anything, but I don't want to have a poison worldview. But anyways, drifters also really, really love the motel lifestyle. Hell yeah, that's a fact. The St. Patty's Day episode we just did on Crazy Life Stories was in a hotel. Me and Matt, we love that. We just love drifting, man. It gives us the freedom to not be tied. That's a typo, Matt. Gives us the freedom to not be tied down to an apartment lease. The issue with the motel scene is that you get this vibe that you should always be partying in your motel room, hence the alcoholic, druggy atmosphere that goes along with being a drifter. So true. Man, dude, we went and stayed at this Daylight Inn in Elkhart, Indiana. It was a motel. That place was wild. And I think we talked about that. We told stories on Crazy Life Stories. We told the story about how we stayed a weekend at this Daylight Inn in Elkhart during the scamdemic. And that was just a very bizarre hotel. Everything about it was like the hotel managers were very bizarre individuals and very off-putting. They were super judgmental about anybody that came and walked through the door. But meanwhile, this hotel literally, like, there were bed bug carcasses at the hotel. Like, it was just crazy. It was clean. I mean, like, you would see it one or two, like, there were no bed bugs there at the hotel, but there were still, it's like there. So you have the hotel manager super judgmental, and their pool wasn't even open. They had an outdoor pool. The pool was empty, and it was like covered in like mold. It just looked like a shitty Florida like pool, or a pool that you would find in Fallout 4. You know what I mean? Like the pool just looked abandoned. The filter hasn't worked in 10 plus years. You know what I mean? That place is really, really interesting. But let me move spots here. It is never good to sail in the rain, but man, this view looks gorgeous. But yeah, it's very, very interesting. Me and Matt Bennett have stayed at some interesting hotels. People in Chicago, like Matt Bennett has a reputation, by the way. Like everybody in Chicago knows who Matt Bennett is. Matt Bennett is definitely punk rock famous, as they say. Like he's definitely punk rock famous. Everybody in Chicago knows who Matt Bennett is. I opened up for this band, this awesome band called Steve's in the Band. And they came here in Indiana to Elkhart because I was volunteering at a venue. Actually, I volunteered at this venue for 2 straight years, and I got literally nothing out of it. I was able to play a few shows, and I learned how to do some drywall. But other than that, it was a total waste of my time. And it also affected my relationship that I was in at the time. Because every Friday night, I'm just going to this venue. Whether I'm playing a show or not, I'm going to this venue and spending 9 in the morning until 11 p.m. building the venue, making sure people are paying money at the door, making sure people are old enough to be in the venue, serving food at the venue, being a volunteer, cleaning the venue, doing drywall all day at the venue, rebuilding the walls, fixing the floors so fat people could walk throughout the venue and not fall through the floor, and then in turn sue the venue. Like we put in so much work at this venue, and it basically got nothing out of it. But now I'm ranting again. I digress. So the vibe that always should be partying in your motel room, hence goes along with being a drifter. Drifters must have a backpack. It's just a part of the look. Every type of person has a look, whether it may be a hippie, punk, or corporate businessman / woman. Everybody just has a look. It's very true, Matt. Most drifters drink and drug because they drift into random situations such as parties where they meet up with friends and or strangers, bands / concerts, and so forth. Not that these are the only places a drifter goes, but it seems to play a large part of the lifestyle. Drifters are attracted to the bus train stations and airports as well, obviously for the transportation factor, but also just to hang out, meet people, have a smoke or a beer with them, maybe even smoke a joint. Yeah, and it's really, really interesting because I was just at, for the St. Patty's Day, I drifted over to Chicago to go hang out with Matt Bennett. We got a hotel, blah, blah, blah. Super, a lot of fun. But, yeah, I was on the train, and, yeah, people are, when you take public transportation, whether it's a train or a bus, there's always going to be a homeless guy drinking a beer. I don't care where you go. I took the bus today for an interview. There were 4 homeless dudes under a bridge drinking fucking Steel Reserves, you know what I mean? It's literally just the way... It's just the way it goes. It's like part of what you deal with. And sometimes, you can tell how drunk they are. Depending on how drunk, if they're really shit-faced, they'll come up and start talking to you and ask you for money. And so then you got to deal with that. Then you got this homeless bum drinking very disgusting smelling alcohol that smells like the St. Joe River, breathing his nasty-ass disgusting alcohol Steel Reserve breath in your face while you're just trying to go to work on the bus. It's taking the public transportation to go to work is fucking horrible. It's horrible. I mean, but it's like, it's just something, it is what it is. It's like, you gotta do it if you have to, right? Like me, I don't have a car. I don't want a car. Cars are so expensive. But it's just the way it goes. Like, so it goes. The Ween song. I don't think that's a Ween song. I don't know, I brain farted. Drifters are always attracted to bus, have a beers with them or maybe even smoke a joint, which always leads to interesting conversations. Yes, the conversations that you have just drifting around and talking and going outside of your comfort zone. And yeah, like go outside of your comfort zone. Yeah, the mentality of people talking to homeless people is like, don't talk to that guy, he has no money. It's like, are you really going to benefit? Like, how much money are you going to save from avoiding a conversation with this human being? Like, how, seriously? People's mentality towards homeless people often makes me disgusted. Like, I'll keep it anonymous. I was at a show during Riot Fest. We went and saw NoFX in Chicago, again in Chicago. We went and saw NoFX at Riot Fest. NoFX played the after party. And literally every homeless person that we walked by, my friend's wife, she would roll her eyes, get immediately disgusted, insult. She would say things like piece of shit, piece of shit, piece of shit, and walk faster. You know what I mean? Like we would be walking downtown Chicago, we'll go into the venue or go into a restaurant, get some beers, get some burritos somewhere, and she's just, oh, piece of shit, piece of shit, piece of shit. Like, and I'm like, that's a human being. I mean, I just bit my tongue, and I was younger. This was like 15 years ago. This is when I was still dating my, in quotes, high school sweetheart. Yeah, I was still in high school, too. Like, I'm 32 now, so if that tells you how long ago this was. Yeah, and, like, she just made me sick. Like, it made me not want to be around her at all. I'm like, I was homeless at one point, girl. Like, were you going to call me a piece of shit, too? Like, I just, the way people act and the way people treat each other never ceases to amaze me. Or disgust me, but anyways, back to the material, which always leads to interesting conversations. Hospitals, coffee shops, forests, preserves, trails are also some of the places you can find a drifter. A lot of times, you will find them at these places because they are taking shelter or charging their phones. So now that you have some background of a drifter lifestyle, I suppose it's time to get into the meat and potatoes of all these crazy drifts around the country. Enjoy, beware, prepare to laugh, be shocked, and just do your best to take it all in. Here goes nothing, as they say. Ow! Ow! Jeez, and my ship's on fire. What's going on? Okay, I'm getting commendations in the video game, and I definitely didn't plan that. What time is it here? We got 4:40. Snoopy, Pickle is not going to be home for another 20 minutes, bro. Snoop Dogg's getting at the door and getting all antsy and being a freaking character, as beagles do. Let me get some more food. I guess I can't hang out on the ship in the thunderstorm. I don't want my ship to sink either, though. Stupid rain. Maybe I should go hang out at the tavern. Well, no, let me go to the Sovereign's over here. I'll drift over to the Sovereign's tent. That way I can keep eyes on my vessel. Try to get out of the rain a little bit. No, there's no way to get out of the rain. There's no way. Alright. Sick. So we are at Drifter story number 1. I should probably message Matt Bennett and be like, yo, hey, if you can tune into the live stream, brother. Actually, I will. Sorry for the, now this is not technical difficulties. Let me share the video into the group chat. Alright, and Snoopy is also freaking whining. What do you want, brother? Now it's Beagle difficulties. Sorry, guys. Alright, what? Leave the door a little bit ajar, because he's going to scratch his way into the door. Alright, let's get back to the material. Okay, Drifter story number 1. Let me get another Irish cricket. Just for the hell of it. Irish cricket from Matt Bennett, because he's probably at work. R.I.P., bro. R.I.P. to Matt Bennett. I was 22 or 23, so it was 2003, 2004. Tea is so good. Love tea. 2003, 2004, and had a random 2 days off from work at Borders in Oak Brook, Illinois. My parents and I were fighting, so I decided to take off aimlessly driving. I was going to go south on 57 towards St. Louis, but I was messing around with the CD player and missed the exit, so I just decided to instead go north towards Detroit. I then decided to say, forget Detroit, I'm going to Canada. I was driving a green Ford Taurus with tons of band stickers on the back bumper. There was also tons of CDs all over the car. I'm pretty sure I stayed the night at a crappy motel that first night. Yeah, I remember forgetting that I had to be out there at 11 a.m. Classic checkout motel time, yeah, for sure. And some cleaning lady was banging on the door telling me to get the H out of there. So I quickly got dressed and got the hell out. I then remember driving around Detroit just to see and Comerica Park. I wonder if that's a typo or... Hold on. Hey Google, Comerica Park, Detroit? Oh yeah, it is Comerica Park. Oh, it's a baseball stadium. Home of the Detroit Tigers. That's cool. Then I remember driving around Detroit just to see Comerica Park. Oh, I see. I also remember getting out and walking around Ford Field, and I had all blue on, so I fit right in as a Lions fan. Some funny lady was yelling, "Hell yeah!" After exploring Detroit and all of its lovely abandoned buildings, I then decided to proceed to see if I could get into Canada. I'm pretty sure I had my passport, so that was no problem, and I had a credit card, but no cash. When I got to Border Patrol, I decided to make up this story that I was going to see a long-lost uncle in Toronto. For whatever reason, they thought the story or myself looked suspicious. So the next thing I know, I'm being searched and along with my car at the International Customs Office. Holy shit, dude, what? They may have thought I had drugs or something on me. The end result was sending me back to Detroit, basically telling me to stay out of Canada, you damn American. So then I decided to go hang out in the UP, Upper Peninsula of Michigan. It was a pretty good drive. I remember meeting this weird guy who needed to buy tools for his truck at a random rest area. So I drove the guy to an AutoZone or something like that, a half an hour away from the rest area, helped him carry the tools to my car, took him back to the rest area to his truck and kept driving. Ooh, excuse me. Eventually I got tired and found another weird... All it says is, eventually I got tired and found another weird... I'm gonna say hotel or motel. Find another weird to stay at for the night, of which then I had to drive 10 plus hours back to Chicago. Holy crap, dude. I think my parents had no idea where I even went because I just took off. Of course they were worried, sick, and very mad at me, but being me, I just said, oh, it's fine. And drove home. I think I had to work at 3 p.m. to midnight the next day, so I made it back to go to work and told everyone at work about my crazy drift. I think that's the majority of the story. Very interesting, and I'm going to go check on my shift too, because looks like the rain's going to be cleared out. I love when it's raining and you go underwater, and the water is just so peaceful, and the colors of the water while it's raining always look more bright and more vibrant in this game compared to when it's not raining for some reason. The colors are sick. Sorry. This beautiful game is distracting me. Yeah, there's definitely some water under there. I could hear it. Alright, so stay on the vessel. Oh, sounds like Pickle's home, so it looks like I can close the door. Actually, what time is it? Oh, Pickle is not home yet. Probably a neighbor. Alright, so Illinois to Baltimore with Glenn. Okay, gotta get some barking beagles in here. Oh my gosh, guys. Sorry for the beagle difficulties, everybody. Squirt, you're gonna go bark too? Come on, go, get out of here. Yep. Get out of here. Just close that door real quick. Jeez. Let me see what the hell's going on here. Let's see what they're barking at. Pickle is definitely home, double confirmed. Get squirted in here. All right. Sorry for the beagle difficulties, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate you. You know, I'm just promoting my friend out. I'm just out here promoting my homie, dude. If you guys haven't read this book, why haven't you? It's really, there's some good stories in here, man. It costs $1, dude. That's literally less than a cup of coffee nowadays. Oh, and speaking of, since this is Beagle Eye Visions, I do a new, brand spanking new book review every first of the month. And this book, Drifter Diaries, is on the list of book reviews. I've already done a book review on this book. So, make sure, I mean, if you're an awesome legendary legend, you probably have already seen that book review. But if you're an awesome legendary legend and you haven't seen that book review, you're probably going to go watch that book review right after this. Because then we would have read the book together, right? We're reading it together right now. All right, Illinois to to Baltimore with Glenn. I don't remember all these stories, but like the dealing with customs to get into Canada, that's crazy. That's fucking crazy. That's a crazy life story, bro. It's like, bravo, man. You actually did that? Holy cow. And he drove by himself. How many individuals out there are willing to go on a road trip by themselves? It's little to zero. I mean, like, I'm a weirdo. I went and drifted to Chicago by myself, but it's crazy. Like, not many people do that. And I'm like, dude, like life is short. You're gonna get old. You're gonna get frail. You're gonna get to an age where you're not gonna want to get off the couch. You're not gonna want to ride a train. You're not gonna want to ride a plane. You're not gonna want to ride in a car because, God forbid, you're gonna get to an age where if you ride in a car for more than 2 hours, your hips are gonna be hurting. Especially if you work. Especially if you work your whole life, you're gonna get to an age. It's like, dude, you're young. People need to travel. I wish I traveled more when I was young. I mean, I still went to Chicago a lot. I was back and forth to Chicago all the time. Any chance I could get, I'd take the train to Chicago. I mean, that's living. That's what life is about. Going out and experience. People want to spend money and get cars and get houses, but you can't take your car when you die. You can't take your house when you die. You can take your memories, though. You can spend time and make memories with your family. If you just spend time and working so your family can have a house, it's like, I don't know. I don't know. Everybody's just so worried about hustle culture, hustle. Shout out to The Illusion, Hamish Patterson. The Illusion here on YouTube. He's always talking about that. Everybody's more worried about the hustle, man. I don't get it. 2003, my friend Glenn and I were living in Villa Park, Illinois, in a crappy apartment. Oh, yeah, I think I've been to that apartment before. Glenn had a friend he knew in Baltimore. I guess we had accumulated some vacation time from work because I don't think we were gone for more than a few days. Anyways, I had a red 96 Volvo. He had a Volvo? Matt, you owned a Volvo? Like, whenever I hear Volvo, I think of the scene in the Gone in 60 Seconds remake with Nicolas Cage, where the black dude's at the DMV. He's like, I need my Volvo. I love that scene. That hits my funny bone every time. I need my Volvo. Man, a red 96 Volvo. I wouldn't mind a Volvo. Like, I want to drive one. Oh, and Detroit Rock City is another movie. They drive a Volvo in Detroit Rock City. Classic movie. I had a red 96 Volvo at the time. I loved that car. So even he loved that car. We took off east from Villa Park, driving, blasting CD after CD as usual. Yeah, that's what you do on road trips. Talking about everything under the sun, as anyone would in the bubble of a car. Looking out at the world through glass windows. I remember stopping at a weird rest area near Cleveland. You need those breaks. After driving 6 or 7 hours, Pennsylvania was the most interesting. A very hilly state. Pretty long state to drive through. Yeah, bro. Driving through Pennsylvania is fucking torture to me. And I don't know, he's saying it's pretty hilly. When I drove through Pennsylvania, I didn't see any hills at all. At all. We drove 12 hours from South Bend to New Haven, Connecticut. 12 straight hours when I was in the band Bare Knuckle Hooligans. Pennsylvania was torture, bro. And everybody in the car only wanted to talk about politics. Trump, Obama, Biden, Trump, politics, Trump, government. We need government. Oh, police. It was, dude, politics the entire drive through Pennsylvania. I wanted to fucking shoot myself. I was like, life can't be real. These guys, these skinheads, right? Skinheads are supposed to be like skinheads against racial prejudice. These skinheads are talking about voting for racist assholes. But I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. But anyways, I got Pennsylvania fucking tortured me. I really want to go see Pennsylvania and like and have fun, because we only drove through Pennsylvania and then we ate at a restaurant. And because, again, I was in a truck full of old, like, 50-year-old skinheads. There's a joke in the skinhead community where it's, oh, you joined the skinhead retirement program. It's like when you retire and you still listen to punk rock and rockabilly, you just become a skinhead, basically, because you lose all your hair, you know, as you get older. So you join the skinhead retirement program. It's hilarious. And I love rockabilly. Man, rockabilly is so, dude, rockabilly is such a good genre of music. Man, just that fast-paced bass slapping with, like, it makes you want to drive a Chevy Camaro at 170 miles an hour into a brick wall. Hell, rockabilly is so awesome. Yes. Actually, speaking of those skinheads that I was in the car with while we were driving to Pennsylvania, they showed me this movie called, it's got David Arquette. Oh, hold on. Hey, Google, what's the rockabilly movie with David Arquette?
The movie is Road Racers, 1994.
Yes.
Directed by Robert Rodriguez, it stars David Arquette as Dude Delaney, a 1950s greaser and aspiring rockabilly musician who clashes with the local sheriff in a small town. The film was part of the Rebel Highway series on Showtime and features Salma Hayek in her first English-speaking role.
Oh, that was her first English-speaking role. That's why her accent was so thick. Sheesh! Man, I love that movie. Road Racers, dude. Such a good movie. But anyways, probably should stop ranting. Get back to yeah, Pennsylvania's crazy. The freaking Oi Fest was crazy. What a good show that was, dude. We turned the art museum in New Haven, Connecticut into the fart museum. All three of the band members, me and the other two guys, I had a falafel, and that was the first time I had a falafel, which is like cactus. Oh, it's gonna kick me already. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, but like I think a falafel is like cactus or so. We all had deep fried food. I think the guys had ribs. I didn't want to have dead flesh. I wanted to be healthy, so I got the cactus. Which I think the first time I had cactus was with Kevin Williams of Sushi, also from Chicago, Villa Park. Whoa, lag, glitch, glitch. But anyway, yeah, dude, our farts, like, oh, dude, that was just and there was an entire family behind us, and there was a section of the museum where it was showing like Mark Twain and how cabins were built back then, and the cabin was already built inside of the building, so you could open the cabin of the door and see how the structure of the cabin was built, and there were plaques inside the cabin that showed how the trees were cut and things like that, and how the walls were built. And all three of us went into the cabin. We all farted and ripped ass in the we left the dude, it stank so bad. It stank so bad in there. The driver, Jeff, I thought he was gonna puke, bro. Like, and then we left the cabin and we saw the family. This family of like 6 or 7. There was like 4 kids and 2 adults. There was like 4 or 5 kids with 2 adults, and they walked into the cabin after us, and they all made a face, but we were trying to walk away to where it wouldn't be obvious. Like, so we walked out of that cabin. All 3 of us were holding our guts, trying not to. Oh my god, I'll never forget that. That was so good. We turned the art museum into a fart museum. Oh my god, so good. But anyways, back to the material. Again, I digress. I apologize. Blasting CD after CD. You need those breaks. They stopped at a rest area. A very hilly state, pretty long state to drive through. Oh yeah, that's why I started ranting. The most interesting part was driving through the Amish communities. And that's where we ate at the restaurant for Bare Knuckle Hooligans too. We ate right at an Amish community restaurant. It was I mean, the food was fantastic, but everybody was looking at us like we were fucking murderers. The most interesting part was driving through the Amish communities, seeing them from the highway. Obviously, there were exits as well, acknowledging where these Amish communities were. I don't think we stopped at any of them to check them out. Wish we would have, but I guess we really wanted to get to Baltimore. The other funny thing we saw in Pennsylvania was Hershey, Pennsylvania. Yes, this is on my bucket list. I want to go see Hershey, Pennsylvania. I'm not even a fan of chocolate. I'm not a fan of junk food. But I think it would be so cool to go see Hershey, Pennsylvania. There's probably such good, rich history down there. Seeing Hershey, Pennsylvania, seeing the good old Hershey Corporation exists. Just super fun and cool to see. I also remember stopping at some random Pennsylvania rest area just to take a nap. Though every road trip and drift, I'm all about driving slash drifting as much as as much of the destination as possible without stopping towards the destination. After stopping and resting for a bit and eating some sandwiches, well then, what's left to do but get back on the highway and continue the drift. Oh, continue the drift. Oh, yes. I think at this point we only had a few hours left and we're close to the Maryland border. Dude, you guys went all the way to Maryland? Maryland is very pretty as well, driving, and eventually we got to Glenn's friend's suburb where she lived. When we got there, we stopped for food, all sleep deprived. I think Glenn's friend was at work when we arrived to her suburb because we just started exploring and getting beer to celebrate our arrival. We pretty much wasted the whole day drinking and passing out for a bit and finally meeting Glenn's friend up at some crazy Baltimore bar. Continued partying on no sleep and dancing, of course. Eventually, we left, got some late night food, and went back to her place to crash out for the night. Went and got some classic hungover breakfast. I bet they fucking went to McDonald's, dude. That's the best hangover breakfast ever is greasy, fresh McDonald's. The next day at Anywhere Diner USA. Oh, they went to the next day at an Anywhere Diner USA. Since it was now Saturday, I'm pretty sure Glenn's friend was pretty busy the next couple days during the day, but we would always meet up at night. One day, Glenn and I decided to go to Baltimore Orioles game. We scalped some cheap tickets in the bleachers. Hold on, I gotta look this up. Because in my mind, Maryland. Hey Google, show me a map of Baltimore and surrounding states. I just have to see like where they're at in location.
Baltimore is located in central Maryland and is surrounded by several states in the mid-Atlantic region. To the north, Pennsylvania borders Maryland's entire
Okay,
to the east,
shut up.
Delaware shares a border with Maryland.
Oh, Maryland's down south, I see. Philadelphia goes all the what? It touches the ocean? Pennsylvania is huge. Oh, no, it doesn't. Okay, I see. Dude, Pennsylvania is way too big. And then Connecticut is above Maryland, which is where we're at right now in the story. They drifted to Maryland. That's New Jersey. That's New York. Yeah, we went right outside of New York. Oh, and then there's New Haven. Okay, I see where I'm at now. All right. Okay. Say it. I better move around because they're probably going to kick me again. All right. Man, this game is freaking gorgeous. Okay, we can always meet it up at night. One day, Glenn and I decided to go to Baltimore Orioles game. We scalped some cheap tickets in the bleachers. We really didn't pay attention to most of the game. We figured we should enjoy beer and hot dog. Dude, I was craving a chili dog so much. I'm still craving a chili dog. Sounds so freaking good, right? I need a chili dog. Sucking on a chili dog. We scalped some cheap tickets in the bleachers. We really didn't pay attention to most of the game. We figured we should enjoy beer and hot dogs to have an American pastime day. I'm pretty sure they were playing the Indians as Interleague had started recently. It was a funny shit show. I think the rest of the time we just hung out with Glenn's friend at bars and at her place until it was time to go back to the Midwest. I remember driving past the Raven Stadium on the way out of Baltimore, and it was huge. Very cool looking stadium, always a cool thing to see on the way out of a city. Don't think don't think anything really happened. It says don't think with a J, Thinj. That's kind of funny. Matt, you need to I need to fix all these typos, man. These typos kind of drive me nuts. Don't think anything really happened, really interesting or super hilarious. He's hilarious is spelled with an A. Come on, brother. I don't think I don't think anything really interesting or super hilarious happened on the way home. Just driving, gassing up, eating, chilling at rest areas, yada yada, all the way back to Villa Park, Illinois. That's about it for this simple drift. Peace out. So now we're at Chicago to Florida with Spencer. I think I'm going to use the restroom real quick. Move locations again. Let me go hang out with the gold hoarders. Who's the gold hoarder at this island? I think it might be Harry. Herbert! It's Herbert. Hey, what's up, brother? What's up, Herbert? I'm going to tell you a story, bro. Alright, so while this amazing music is playing in the background, I will use the restroom, and I will be right back. Stay tuned. Stay gold. We're going to keep going. Alright. What up, Herbert? How you doing, Herbert? You doing good today? Making money, dude? Grinding? We're grinding too, brother. Alright. Okay. Chicago to Florida with Spencer. I believe it was the spring of 2004. My friend Spencer, who worked at Borders with me, was going to Florida to work for Disney for an internship. Disney has internships? Hey, Google, what type of internships does Disney have?
Designed for students and recent graduates, categorized by the level of experience and the nature of the work. These range from frontline park operations to high-level corporate and technical roles. 1. Disney College Program.
High-level corporate and technical dude, I hate Disney. Disney is such a disgusting corporation, but this is I want to interview this guy. I want to interview Spencer, Matt. I wonder. I bet dude, if he worked at Disney as an internship for a long time, I know he's got some insane stories, dude. Disney is such a trash corporation. But anyways, I told him I would gladly drive him down there because his car was not working well enough to drive long distance. So we ended up taking my green Ford Taurus, which was also pretty old. I think it was in '96. I remember the day we left after packing the night before, and then picked up Spencer. And then picked up Spencer the next morning at his grandparents' house. I remember saying goodbye to them and Spencer's mom, who lived there as well. We had hung out before and partied and talked about the world. So that was that, and we were off. Nothing really interesting or really funny happened in the first part of the trip. We just drove and drove and stopped for gas and food like anyone would on a road trip. I had 2 random joints on me. I wanted to smoke one on the way and save one for when I got there. At some point on the highway, I said, "Spencer, you don't do drugs, which is very smart, but I'm going to smoke this J." Matt is so random. I know you don't smoke drugs, which is very smart, but I'm gonna smoke this J. I can hear Matt Bennett's voice. I can just hear I can hear his voice. Oh man, I love Matt Bennett. So I smoked it while driving, which was always fun. Getting blazed on the highway, the best time in motion. I know we were switching off CDs to be fair and talking about a lot of music amongst everything else under the sun. The drive to Atlanta is about 12 hours, and we were headed to Daytona Beach, which is another 6 or 7 hours after that. I honestly don't think we stopped at any hotels, motels. Just drove straight through since both of us could drive. One of those deals, I remember when we got into Florida, we started arguing about if we were gay or not since women drove us crazy. We both broke down so much, we had to stop in some parking. Oh shit, man, I was laughing. I'm sorry. We both broke down so much that we had to stop in some parking lot. I think the whole lack of sleep had a lot to do with these unnecessary dramatics. But looking back, it was pretty hilarious. Anyways, by this time, Spencer had called his aunt to find out exactly where she lives. We found her house in Daytona, unpacked the car. I brought a Yamaha keyboard, of which I called Yami. It felt pretty good to be in Florida, away from the Midwest. Anyways, first few days just hung out at Spencer's aunt's house. His cousin also lived there. She was really cool. Both of them were working during the day, so we would just join their fine presence and eat dinner. During the day, Spencer and I would just hang out. Sometimes I would drink and smoke a little green. He burned me a lot of awesome CDs for the way home. His cousin showed us this weird hangout spot with huge willow trees and a swing from the tree. I think it was right on the lake, not the ocean, but my memory is fuzzy on that. So we would sometimes hang out there as well. We would drive around Daytona. It wasn't the nicest part of Florida. I remember seeing some funny drunk hookers walking around. I also bought this funny t-shirt that said, "If assholes could fly, this place would be an airport." At some souvenir stand. That's awesome. The entirety of Florida. If assholes could fly, this place would be an airport. Yeah. That's probably why Disney chose to build their place of vacation there. It's filled with fucking pretentious assholes. Disney loves assholes. Oh man. Hopefully I'm still streaming. Hopefully YouTube didn't shut me down after that. One day we went over to this weird guy's house who was a wood carver. Spencer's cousin knew these people. They were really cool. I think there was a couple of black dudes and a couple of white dudes that lived together. I remember getting really stoned with them, and they were talking about how they had been on the wagon until now. I don't even think I knew what that meant at the time. Now, of course, I do. This other time, which was before we met these weird woodcarver guys, I tried to make some music video in Spencer's aunt's garage. I think it went out right. I wrote this EP about my family, so I was making videos for a couple of these songs. No clue. I lost my. No clue whatever happened to that footage. So that was weird and interesting. The last significant thing about this trip was when Spencer showed me the movie Ed Wood. It's such a brilliant movie because it's basically about going out and doing what you want to do, no matter how disadvantaged you are or how many people are against your idea. Kind of like the Nike thing. Just do it. philosophy. That movie taught me so much about living the dream, no matter what happens or what anyone says, even if you fall flat on your face for a few times. Spencer showed me that movie for a reason. And what was this movie? Uh, Ed Wood. Hey Google, can you tell me about the film Ed Wood?
Tim Burton's 1994 biographical dramedy stars Johnny Depp as the real-life cult filmmaker widely considered the worst director of all time. Shot in stylized black and white, it focuses on Wood's infectious optimism and his friendship with aging horror icon Bela Lugosi. Key highlights. Performance. Martin Landau won an Academy Award for his portrayal of Bela Lugosi. Plot. The story tracks Wood's struggle to make infamous low-budget films like Plan 9 from Outer Space while surrounded by a misfit troupe of actors.
What?
Tone. Unlike a traditional biopic, it's a celebratory and sympathetic look at creative passion in the face of total failure.
Man, creative passion in the face of total failure. I know all about that shit. If you like this movie, you might also like The Disaster Artist, which I watched The Disaster Artist. I watched it a while. I wasn't too impressed by it. I don't know. It didn't. I mean, it was entertaining, but I didn't. Once the credits rolled, I wasn't like, man, I'm gonna watch this movie again. You know, because there are movies where I literally watch every year, like Pulp Fiction, Lawless, Full Metal Jacket, The Shining, Eyes Wide Shut. I wish I had my stack of DVDs right here. I mean, I don't go out of my way to watch it every year, but I guess I've been watching Entourage, not the entire series, but every now and again I'll just pop it in, watch a random Entourage show. But how have I not heard of this movie? I think I've heard them talk about this movie on Wake the Dead podcasts. But how have I not watched this? I'm gonna have to look it up. Chill, brother. Ed Wood. Very interesting. Oh my God, Squirt wants to. Dude, I'm trying to make progress here, bro, and you just want to like be a dog. Okay, you get to go hang out in the living room, Squirt. You don't get your freaking bed now. I get to read a few pages until you get to come back in the room now, brother. Freaking distracted me. Okay, it's such a brilliant movie. Wow, that's really interesting. And I've read this before, and I don't remember, like, I don't know. Anyways, anyone says, even if you fall flat on your face a few times, Spencer showed me that movie for a reason. I think I was only down there for a week to a week and a half tops. Of course, like any fun time / vacation, always go by way faster than they should. Eventually, it was time for me to hit the road back to crappy Illinois. I remember getting lost in Georgia on the way home. It was for like an hour, and plus I really wasn't in a super hurry to get home. I'm pretty sure I drove all the way until Kentucky and got a motel room for the night. Stupid phone's vibrating for some dumb reason, for literally no dumb reason. Then drove the rest of the way home. Oklahoma is always... Oh, wait, hold on. I'm pretty sure I drove all the way until Kentucky and got a motel room for the night. Then drove the rest of the way home. Oklahoma is always a weird state to drive through, as it's a state with turnpikes. Oklahoma City is nothing to write home about, but interesting in its own way. Just my opinion. It always seems to rain throughout the entire state as well. Then Missouri and back to Illinois. I was living in an apartment in Villa Park at the time of this drift, and I think that's it about for this story. Peace. I love the way these stories are written. It just like his method of writing is amazing. I think it definitely, Matt Bennett. With all due respect, Matt Bennett, they're definitely these typos got to be fixed, and I think some of the grammar of some of the sentences need to be corrected. But this is, if you talk to Matt Bennett, you know how he is. This is just the way Matt Bennett is. Before I start the next story, let me get Squirt Dog back in here because he's a spoiled beagle. Beagle difficulties, come on. No technical difficulties here, just beagle difficulties. Come on. Come on, get in bed. Freaking handsome. Freaking handsome. That's my baby boy right there. That's my baby boy right there. He could take a loan out in my name if he wanted to. Even though I tried to take a loan out in my name yesterday and it didn't work. Even though my credit score is freaking fantastic. So stupid. Worked my entire life. I've worked since I was 17. And I still can't. I can't get a little tiny $1,000 loan so I can get back and forth to work without relying on anybody else or public transportation. This country is a joke. But anyways, Illinois to Colorado. I should probably move. They're gonna kick me out. Let me head back to the ship. So I decorated this ship in Matt Bennett fashion. I got the pride flag. You know what I mean? Got the pride flag up there. I think this ship looks amazing. We got to drift around. We're gonna have to drift around. Let me get a little bit farther into the book, and I will set sail, and we'll hit the seas. We'll hit the seas just for the hell of it, just to drift around, because this is Drifter Diaries. Illinois to Colorado to California and back to Illinois. I was 25 or 26, and this was my second trip out west via car. I had been gathering a ton of CDs I had accumulated over the years working at Borders. My plan was to sell them at old record shops along the way out west. As usual, I was making videos about the trip along the way, so I packed my car up with everything I needed and took off in my 2002 green Mitsubishi Dynamite. Mitsubishi Diamante? Is that a typo? I'm not gonna hey Google that one. Squirt. Quit. Squirt's out here eating his butt. Now he's giving me stink eye. As usual, I was making videos about the trip along the way, so I packed my car up with everything I needed and took off in my 2002 green Mitsubishi Diamante, or Dynamite. Might be a typo. I had started making payments about a year ago. I didn't care if I just stopped making payments on it, because if I'm out west, no tow truck or repo man is going to find me. Hell yeah. That's awesome, dude. Punk rock attitude right there. So I took off on I-80 West. I filmed along the way while driving, which is kind of dangerous. And then it shows a YouTube link, and I talk about this in the book review of this book. These YouTube links are broken or they don't work. And this isn't the only book, you know. Mark Devlin's book, The Musical Truth, also has broken YouTube links. So this is, again, Matt Bennett, I love you, but I'm not trying to throw you under the bus. We need to get this book updated. Because there would be a lot less pages in the book if we took out all these broken YouTube links that lead to nothing, you know. With all due respect, brother. Love you. But I always feel like there is a sense of happiness and excitement getting out of Illinois. Yeah, I feel the same way about into Bender City. South Bender City. Crossing the border into Iowa. I sense a sense of freedom to be out on your own state. I don't think I stopped anywhere until the Iowa 80 truck stop, which is the biggest truck stop in the U.S. It's a favorite place of mine to stop because it's so big and fun to hang out at for a bit. See all the weird souvenirs and food places. So I ate there, gassed up, and it was on my way. Iowa obviously isn't very exciting either, being that it's just the long start of cornfields and farmland. Des Moines? How do you pronounce that? Des Moines? Des Moines? Des Moines? Des Moines? Des Moines? Isn't anything great, nor is Iowa City. It takes about 5 hours to drive through Iowa. There's a town called Bennett, Iowa, and I'm pretty sure I tried to capture it on film. There was no CD stores I could find along the Iowa adventure, but I left Illinois with a decent amount of cash, so I really didn't need to stop and sell anything anywhere. So drive along, and of course Nebraska is next, which is even worse than Iowa. Bigger, more boring, and that good old never-ending feeling. Omaha is okay though. An interesting little city. Lincoln is okay as well, but still not much to do in either of those cities. I remember stopping at a weird BP for gas and McDonald's for dinner, and a motel in Lincoln near the border of Nebraska and Colorado. The next morning, I did some laundry at some random laundromat, listening to the drama at the laundromat of Lincoln, Nebraska. So now it's off to Colorado Denver, specifically because at this time my friend Sean and his family were living out there. It takes like 16 hours from Chicago to Denver. Once you enter Colorado, it's just an array of green foliage. It's such a relief from Illinois, Iowa, and Nebraska. You feel like you're in a new country or something. The scenery is fantastic, even at the beginning of the state, even before you see the mountains off in the distance. And then once you get close to Denver, the view of mountains with the city in the middle of it. My friend Sean lived in Lakewood, Colorado, a suburb about 20 minutes from downtown Denver. Eventually got there and met up with him, moved into his place, and got an air mattress set up in his computer room. He had a roommate, Carl, who was pretty cool. At first, we would just hang out when we could. Sean is a computer engineer and worked like 80-hour work weeks. Carl was also working and going to school for some type of engineering. After about a week of countless drinking, writing, and making videos, Sean said I could go to work for his dad's company, Specialty Chemicals, for a bit. I worked with Sean's sisters, Katie and Kirsten, and a few other cool coworkers. I remember this guy, Sam, who was pretty cool, who would unload trucks of pallets and wash big drums of which chemicals would go in. We would get blazed as well, talking about what other drugs we have done. I also remember sealing bottles of chemicals at the end of an assembly line. I forgot to mention that before I started working there, I sold a bunch of CDs to this cool record store downtown Denver. Yeah, like, see, I would correct the typo. I want Matt Bennett's personality to be in the writing, but that's one typo that I would correct. I sold a bunch of CDs to this cool record store downtown Denver. There's no commas or anything. I would put in there. I sold a bunch of CDs to this cool record store in downtown Denver. But anyways, I don't need to be a grammar Nazi this whole stream. I used the money to buy a ticket to a Denver Nuggets game. That was fun. Also, when I was working at Specialty Chemicals, Sean's sister Katie gave me her tickets to an Avalanche playoff game. That was really generous and a really exciting game of hockey. So at the end of the week, we got paid. I made a little over $300 for the week. Not too bad. I couldn't work for them anymore as they didn't have the hours. I cashed my check at Walmart, bought some green, and partied with Sean's sisters and their friends that night. I remember getting really messed up and puking, and someone yelled out, Chicago's puking, while I was in the bathroom at the end of the weekend. I decided, fuck it, I'm going to LA. Chicago's puking, everybody. Chicago's puking. Look at these northern lights, dude. Not my nipples. Look at my nipples. My non-existent nipples. No, these northern lights, dude. Oh my god, let's look at these. God, it looks gorgeous. Alright, let's go sit on the beach. I'm gonna take another restroom break. And then we'll get back to the material. Dude, he's roaming through, what did it say, Denver? Yeah, he's in Denver, down south. Very interesting. Dude, this guy is nuts. This guy's nuts. He did all this not only did all this traveling, but he did the driving. You know, I wonder if was he insured this whole time he was driving across the entire country? You know what I mean? Anarchists shouldn't ask questions like that. Was he insured? Doesn't matter, dude. The fact is he went out there and did all this traveling and he drifted around. So awesome. Reminds me when I had my Chevy Asteroid with Squirt Dog, and we were just drifting all over Indiana during the scamdemic, all over Indiana, all over Ohio. We went to where's the old breed from? Toledo, Ohio, Columbus, Ohio, Rutland, Ohio, West Virginia. We were traveling everywhere, me and Squirt Dog, in the Chevy Asteroid. I miss it so much. But anyways, I'm going to use the restroom. Be right back. We'll get to the material. Amazon Kindle says we're 10% through the book. And nobody has messaged me to play video games or sail on Sea of Thieves. So I guess we'll keep reading. We'll keep reading and drinking grogs. and chilling out. Thank you if you made it this far. Stay tuned, stay gold. We'll be right back. 3 to 5 minutes. So I'll read a few more pages, and then we'll get to we'll start sailing, right? Start getting some sail on. I was listening to Speaking of sailing on, I was listening to Bad Brains earlier. Yet I'm sailing, yes I'm sailing on. I'm moving, yes I'm moving on. Sail on, sail on, sail on, sail on. Freaking love Bad Brains, dude. Bad Brains is so good. Said I'm sailing, yes I'm sailing on. I'm moving, yes we're moving on. Sail on, sail on. So Chicago's puking is where we left off. Can you imagine being in that house? Right? You got this crazy Chicago drifter Sam Squanch guy. He's like 8 feet tall, huge beard. And this guy's fucking drinking and puking in the bathroom, and then you're at a party, and everybody's like, Chicago's puking! That's hilarious. While I was in the bathroom, at the end of the weekend, I decided to say, fuck it, I'm going to LA. Sean was like, you can stay here and look for another job. I was like, no way. Speaking of, when I just moved from West Virginia, that's when my buddy, I worked at, what was his name, dude? Scott, Ian. I'm ashamed. I'm honestly ashamed I don't remember his name. I remember Kevin at K. Roger, Kroger in West Virginia. Dude, if you see Kevin at Parkersburg, West Virginia, shake that dude's hand. Kevin is a fucking legend, bro. I fucking love Kevin. But anyways, one of my coworkers at Kroger, he offered me to get a trailer and stay at his driveway. He's like, bro, you're way too cool to leave West Virginia. He was like, dude, you have to stay here in West Virginia. You can sleep in my driveway. You can park in my garage. You and your dog will be taken care of. And I was like, nah, I gotta go back to family. I don't have any family here in West Virginia. I gotta go back to family. And I should have fucking stayed. I should have took his offer. And man, I had such a good job, dude. That job was so fucking good. I should have stayed. But anyways, no regrets. No regrets. Sean was like, you can stay here and look for another job. I was like, no way. So I took off on Monday or Tuesday on the next week with maybe $350. I think I sold some more CDs before I left. I said my goodbyes and took off on the highway again. Utah was next. I know I've mentioned this before, but there's this huge stretch of Utah where there are no exits, no way to get gas or anything, but it's really amazing, peaceful scenery. I remember stopping at some rest area after this large stretch, and some guy, it's like spelled SOMD. I'm nitpicking, but, some guy asked me if I wanted to go on some religious tour or something, and I was like, no way, I gotta get to LA. I don't have time for religion. All it's gonna do is tie me back, bro. It thwarts you from forward progress, man. I gotta get to LA. After Utah is a bit of it, or Arizona, where you can see parts of the Grand Canyon, which is obviously amazing. And then, of course, Nevada is next. Entering the beautiful desert mountain killer scenery land? Desert mountain killer scenery land. Like the grammar is making me brain fart. But speaking of Las Vegas, dude, I want to go see Las Vegas. After I beat New Vegas like 2 summers ago, after beating New Vegas, I want to go see Las Vegas so bad. I want to go see Good Springs. I want to go meet Dynamite Pete before he dies. I need to meet Easy Pete before I die. That's on my bucket list. If I don't meet Easy Pete before he dies, I'm going to be sad as fuck. But anyway, I remember stop. Wait, no. You also know you're in Nevada because even at gas stations they have slot machines. I remember stopping at one, got some gas and some food, and put a couple dollars in a slot machine, winning nothing as usual. I made it to Vegas before I was running out of money and gas. I attempted to sleep in a hotel parking lot for the night, and I did, but I think I fell asleep with my car running. I remember cops knocking on my window telling me I was asleep in a running car, and I had to leave the premise. I had to leave the premises as the hotel front desk noticed me there and called the police. See, like, why would the hotel front desk call the cops? Like, you can't just. It's your bit, like whether you own the business or not. You can't just go and knock on the door and be like, "Hey, bro, are you okay? You know your car's running." Like, you have to call the cops. You have to call the authorities. You have to take it to that level. You can't just go knock on the door yourself. People are such spineless cowards. It makes me sick. But anyway, I made it to Vegas. Wait, hold on. And a couple of dollars, slot machine winning, nothing as usual. I made it to Vegas, and I was running out of money and gas. Oh, wait, no, hold on. I remember cops knocking on my window, blah, 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 blah. I left there, and I knew I had to find a CD store to make some more cash. Eventually, I found one and sold what I could. I think I made enough money to get a full tank of gas and some food money. LA is only 4 hours from Vegas, so I knew I would make it. I also pawned a watch I had on that was a high school graduation gift. It was hard to part ways with, but I needed the cash, so now it was on to Cali. I crossed the border and first slept at a Walmart parking lot to rest up. That's one good thing about Walmart. You can legally sleep in their parking lots. Yes. That is, I will second that. That is one, maybe the only one good thing about Walmart. You can legally sleep in their parking lot. Yes, when I got our trailer before I moved to Marion, Indiana, we had to sleep at a Flint, Michigan Walmart parking lot, and that was a very, very interesting experience, to say the least. But anyways, we're on Drifter Diaries, not Beagle Eye Vision Diaries. Walmart parking lots rest up. That's one good thing about Walmart. You can legally sleep in their parking lots. After this, I drove about 3 hours in, and again, money and gas were getting tight. Again, I was frantically searching for a CD store to sell. I only found a GameStop, and now was stranded about an hour outside of LA, still filming the whole way. And then there's another YouTube link, which again, can I copy that? Now, the first time I read these books, the first time I read this book, I tried this and it didn't work. So I'll try it again, copy. I'll go to a web browser. Google Chrome, because it's that type. It's a HTTP link. Type it in, YouTube link. It didn't match anything, it says. So either the link is broken or the video got deleted, and that's why the link is broken. And maybe the YouTube channel got deleted too, as well. That sucks. I really wish I could see these videos. I had a small amount of gas left and like $1 left for a classic cheesy rice and oh hell yeah, dude! A cheesy rice and bean burrito from Taco Bell was $1 back then. Now I think they're $2 now. I had a small amount of gas left and like $1 left for a classic cheesy rice and bean burrito from Taco Bell. That was also in this complex I was stranded in. I then got fed up from just sitting in this parking lot and decided to just chance it to LA, and I could still sell CDs at Amoeba Records, downtown Hollywood. Holy shit! Amoeba Records, dude? Justin Townes Earl played Amoeba Records. The Growlers played Amoeba Records. Bro, so many epic artists have played Amoeba Records. Like, I kind of want to play there, because Justin Townes Earl, he died a few years ago. Just like all my friends freaking OD'd. It's just a normal thing here in the Bender City. You know, man, that would be oh, dude. I'm gonna end up asking Matt about Amoeba this Saturday. So like, he went and saw Amoeba. Like, what? That's so freaking cool, dude. What a legend, bro. What a legend. I wish I knew him when he was doing all this drifting, because shoot, that'd be so sick. If I can turn back time, I will it all away. All right. That's so, dude, that Matt Bennett, that's so cool. I forget about all these stories. Like, he's done some epic shit. Done some epic stuff. So, okay, so into LA so I could sell CDs at Amoeba. And that's a typo, too, but Amoeba is spelled A-E-M, and he spelled A-M-E-B. Sorry, man. Sorry, man. I'm just, like, I don't know. As a writer, I don't like typos. Downtown Hollywood. So I just kept on trucking and made it all the way to East LA. Before I officially ran out of gas, my car was acting up at this point as well. I managed to pull into a Carl's Jr. parking lot and chill there, so at least I wasn't on the side of the highway. I hung out there going into the bathroom and chugging water when I felt hungry. Eventually, it was about to get dark, and I was just going to have to stay in the parking lot as long as I could. Once it started to get dark, the craziest thing happened. I was breaking down, filming about how I couldn't take any of this anymore, and all of a sudden my back car window just shatters. I was so freaked out by this point, and somehow captured the shattering window on camera. Dude, I want to see these videos, bro! Dang it! I still, to this day, do not know if it was a bullet or a rock or what, but someone saw me and threw or shot something at me. Maybe it was because they saw I had a camera. So far, by this point, I'm extremely frantic and do not know what to do. Earlier in the day, I had contacted my ex-girlfriend, Kristen's brother, Sean, to see if he could help me out. I got a hold of Kristen eventually, who was in Chicago for a funeral. She called her brother after I told her what happened, and Sean had a friend, Ivan, came to rescue me. I didn't know what was wrong with my car, but somehow managed to get it to a gas station, get some gas in it, and get it back to Sean's apartment in Echo Park. Holy shit, dude! We just put my car in his garage and just partied almost all night. Hey, Google, where is Echo Park? Is that in L.A.?
Echo Park is a vibrant neighborhood located in central Los Angeles, California, situated just northwest.
Yeah. Hey, Google, doing it in the park song. I just gotta figure this out.
Do It in the Park isn't a song by Crass. It's a slogan associated with the Windsor Free Festival and the Wally Hope, Phil Russell, story detailed in Penny Rimbaud's essay, The Last of the Hippies.
Okay, hold on. So, this is fucking insane. This is literally live stream synchronicity. That's not the song I was thinking of. Do It in the Park. It says Do It in the Park isn't a song by Crass. It's a slogan associated with the Windsor Free Festival and the Wally Hope, Phil Russell. Dude, the last modern day Chautauqua that I just finished is a book called Last of the Hippies about Wally Hope, Phil Russell. And the fact that this popped up is insane. That is literally live stream synchronicity. Bro, like, what? I'm shitting myself on live stream. Right, I'm shitting myself. So I'm glad there's no camera because then you guys would just be seeing me shit myself all over my bedroom. That's crazy. Oh, Rock Creek Park. Hey Google, Rock Creek Park song.
Rock Creek Park is a classic 1975 jazz funk track by the Blackbirds, famous for its "Doing It in the Park" refrain and frequently sampled in hip-hop.
Hey, Rock Creek Park. I don't know why I thought about this song, but I did. He's talking about L.A. and that park, Rock Creek Park. I'm just going off on a rant again for no reason. Welcome to Beagle Eye Visions. All right, so I guess I'll go back to the material. I wonder if that song. Now I want to hear that song, but I'm streaming. Maybe it's because they saw a camera. I was extremely frantic earlier that day. Partied almost all night. Dude, this is like he went on a journey, bro. I want to see a map photo of Crazy Life Stories journey of this book and like see where he went. You know what I mean? I think that'd be so cool. I stayed there for the night, and then the next day I had to get my car fixed, and my dad wired me money. I also had to get the window replaced at a weird glass place, so I did that first. I remember being in kind of frantic, pulling into the glass place, and this cool guy was like, "Calm down, man. Tell me what happened." He was some guy who used to be in some punk band, and I just remember talking to him about money. And he said when he remembered when he was in Cambodia, I think, and how everyone was so happy living on like a couple of dollars a day. He said when they were touring down there, they would live on cheese sandwiches and be happy with that. The point was, we were just talking about how times have really changed. The glass people were really good and quick on fixing the window. There were a lot of glass places, and the guy working explained to me that a lot of people get their windows broken out on a daily basis because LA is just that crazy. I'm just thinking, I guess so. Ha 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 ha. Next, I went to this body shop recommended by Sean. These funny Asian guys owned it and were really nice, so I dropped my car off there and just started walking around Hollywood. I also switched living situations. I moved in with Sean's friend Ivan. His mom and sister live there too, and were all really nice. I ended up having to stay there for like a week waiting on my car to get fixed. I contemplated just staying in LA and just getting a job, but I was still really shaken about what all just happened with the window incident. So I decided to just get my car going again and head back to Chicago. LA just seemed to be too much at this point, so I got my car back, found out it took longer than it should have to fix because they had to get some part dealing with the alternator from Utah. Because Mitsubishis are weird and they couldn't find the part anywhere in California. At any rate, before I left, I sold a bunch of more CDs and a couple of DVD box sets at Amoeba Records. No, so he did actually go to Amoeba. Dude, that's crazy! That's amazing! At Amoeba Records, and it was off back to Chicago. It doesn't say that in the book, it says Chicago. The ride home was the southern route, so I went through Nevada, a bit of Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri, and back to Illinois. Nothing extremely exciting happened on the way home. I just wanted to get back to the Midwest as far as possible. I did not stay at any motels the entire way, just got sleep at rest areas when I got tired. I remember barely making it to one in Texas because I was so tired. When I got back to the western suburbs of Illinois, my parents told me they would appreciate it if I found somewhere else to stay. So my buddy Tony at the time was living under Perry Music, a musical instrument store in Villa Park. For those not from here, he told me I could crash there for a while, so basically now I was squatting in the basement underneath a music store. Dude, this is crazy. Like, this is fucking nuts. How the hell... Like, I'm a musician. I would love to end up squatting in a basement under a music store. Are you kidding me? Like, how do you get in that position? That is so crazy. How do you just drift around all over America? You leave Chicago, go to LA, all the way over to LA, and then you come back home and you just drift under a music store? That's fucking epic. That is so cool. Like, that's what America used to be about. That's the American dream is traveling America and just seeing the land and being free, traveling and being free and seeing the land. It's a pastime. It's a pastime of America. It really is. You know, that's the American dream, in my opinion. Like the schizo journalist, Hunter S. Thompson, American dream. You know what I mean? Just traveling and seeing like that's what it is, and meeting people and drifting. You know, that's why I love Matt Bennett because I think like he just reminds me of Hunter S. This rebellious this rebellious nature. No matter how hard you try to take the rebellion out of Matt Bennett, or no matter how hard you try to take the rebellion out of somebody, a guy like Hunter S. Thompson, it's never you're going to go insane. Just trying to take the rebel out of these guys, you know, just trying to take the freedom out of these guys, right? Like the Audio Slave song, where the intro of the music video, he says, "This is where speed means freedom to the soul." And it's that Audio Slave music video where it's the radio DJ and he's talking about this freedom of the soul. I would play the video, but then I would get slapped with copyright. I'd play the intro of the video, and the song is "Show Me How to Live," I believe. Actually, I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna have to look it up. Audio Slave. I think it is "Show Me How to Live." Let's see it. Stupid commercials. Thanks, YouTube. Appreciate ya. Corporation. A dead entity. A corpse. Corporations. Geico commercial. Always selling me something. Here it is.
This radio station was named Audio Slave in honor of the last American heroes to whom speed means freedom of the soul. The question is not when we're going to stop,
Is
but
who's going to stop him? Yes, exactly. I love it. I love Drifter Diary. I love this book. This book is amazing. I want a physical copy. I need a physical copy of this book. Do I not have one? I feel like no. I don't have a physical copy of this book. That's weird. That's crazy to me. I am starting to get hungry, so I might call it off here. Thanks for tuning in. Not call it off right here, right now. We'll get to like the next. We'll get to the next story and see how we feel. I got some food right behind me. I got a burger from crappy, disgusting fast food. And I think I met Tony. I think I hung out with Tony at his apartment in Villa Park. I think it was for Punk Rock Tacos. I did a show for Punk Rock Tacos. No, that was with Kevin. No, that was when I did a show with Kevin Williams, the drummer of Sushi. And I met this guy named Tony, who he said he hung out with Matt Bennett, and he was there. I think he was the guy who gave Matt Bennett the place to stay under the music studio, and I met Tony. I could be wrong. No, his name was Tony, though. His name was Tony for sure. I met that guy. Interesting. I don't know. I'm going to use the restroom real quick. Give me about 3 minutes. We'll get back to the material. We need to get this boat sailing. For sure, because this is Drifter Diaries. So I don't even care if we crash into rocks or crash into another island while I'm reading the book. I don't give a crap. We got to get this boat going. We got to start drifting. So when I get back, we will start drifting for sure this time. Give me a couple, 3 minutes. Let's watch the sun. Let's watch the moon. This game's so gorgeous. Be right back. All right, all right, all right. How many milks I got? How many milks did you say you put in it? Dude, every time I do these lives, my nose is clear. I think it's just allergies or something. Yeah, I don't know. Every time I do these live streams, I get like, feels like I get congested. Oh my god. Excuse me. That's not a technical difficulty. That's a biological difficulty. Oh my gosh, what's going on here? Cheese and rice. All right, that feels better. All right, so is my mouth moving? You guys can hear me. Sick, sick, sick. We'll get like halfway through this music store story, and then I'll start drifting. This music store story reminds me of the Backrooms, dude. We got the new Backrooms video game trailer. You guys excited? Am I the only one excited for this new Backrooms movie coming out, dude? Oh my god. I already ordered my Backrooms ticket. And it doesn't come out until May. And I already got my ticket, dude. I'm so excited. This movie, they better not mess this movie up, dude. I will set Hollywood on fire. The hills of Los Angeles will be burning if they mess up the Backrooms. And don't stick to the lore like they did with the stupid-ass Fallout TV show. Who wrote the Fallout? Like, somebody, some inbred jackass has to be a writer of the Fallout TV show. I don't believe that anybody is that stupid to where they could fuck up lore that hard. It just... But I need to stick to the material. Okay, so... Where was it? Barely making it to Texas. My parents said they told me they would appreciate it if I found somewhere else to stay. He told me I could crash there for a while. So basically now I was squatting in the basement underneath a music store. Pretty funny place to end up right after coming home from the West Coast. Yeah, that is dude. That's fucking crazy. That's so cool. I remember smoking a killer joint right when I got there as a welcome home present. Hey, at least somebody gave him a welcome home present. Parents fucking kicked him out. Said, we appreciate you if you live somewhere else. But, you know, when the homeboys gave him a welcome home present. Sorry, freaking my phone vibrated. Some dumb Facebook notification making me brain fart. God, this stupid fondle slabs. There's always a distraction. This is why I value books more than my stupid smartphone. Welcome home present. In this basement, there were all these practice rooms for bands to rent out for practice. So first, I stayed in this really small room, but it got really hot to the point where I could see heat waves, so I had to get out of there as soon as possible. So I had to move to this other room, which was bigger and cooler. It had a wrestling mat that I could sleep on, super random. Tony was staying in this room, couches and a TV, a stereo system with huge speakers, a recording studio, and even a sauna. There was a sauna, bro? Saunas are so much fun. I freaking love saunas, dude. It was owned by this guy, Wayland, who had a music store, had a furniture store next to Perry's Music. Tony had been living down there for a couple of years already, had all the keys to the building, and he also worked at Perry's as a guitar teacher. So he lived where he worked. That was pretty funny. And now I'm squatting down here, just drifting into yet another temporary living situation. Yeah, and that's the thing, like, that's the thing with drifters. That's the thing with renting. That, again, shout out to Hamish Patterson. He gets into it. We are not renters of this planet. We are permanent fucking human beings. We are meant to be here. And yet we still have to pay rent We have to pay X amount of money to rent to exist. Like, what a joke. That's how you know this country, and I mean, especially this country, Corporation of America. That's how you know this country is a fucking scam, dude. Like, are we living in a simulation? I don't believe we are. I believe this is definitely reality. But the older I get, man, I'm like, dude, do we live in a simulation? Another temporary living situation. There were 2 bathrooms but no shower, so we would both wash up in sinks. I figured since I was back, I would look for work, and within 2 weeks I got a job at Taco Bell on Roosevelt Road in Villa Park. I sold more CDs to get gas money. I never knew he worked at Taco Bell. Like, I need to ask him. Again, Sunday I'm going to ask him about all this stuff. Worked at Taco Bell? I sold more CDs to get gas money and food money to survive until I found work. So now I have a job and a place to stay within 2 weeks of being back. Granted, I was very behind on my car payments, but I figured that as long as no one knew where I was, I didn't have to... Oh, my God. Another Facebook fucking... Oh... Hey, Cash App, you missed your $17.92 payment was missed because your balance is too low. Yeah, I have no money. Thanks for reminding me. Stay gold. I sold more CDs to collect gas money and found money to survive until I found work. So now I have a job and a place to stay within 2 weeks of being back. I didn't have to really worry about anything. I lived like this for a couple of months before some mice came into my room. When I had leftover pizza in my room, I guess that was the final straw at the time. By this time, a repo man had come to my parents' house looking for me, so that fear kind of set in now, but my car was safe, supposedly in this parking lot behind the store. Though, one night, there was a tow truck repoing this other guy's car, so I didn't really know how safe I was. Eventually, I think Tony and I got into a big fight, and he kicked me out. At this point, with the repo drama... and having to move back into my parents' house, I just quit my Taco Bell job. And right away, when I moved back in, I got the call that they had to take my car away. I just figured it was time to start over. This is basically the entire Illinois to Colorado to California and back to Illinois drifting adventure. Nuts! Oh, yeah! I love Matt. Nuts! Oh, except for some days when I didn't feel like living under Perry's or Tony was being weird about something. I would crash either in my car in the Perry's parking lot and spend some days hanging out at the forest preserves. Sometimes had to do this when things got strange at my parents' house as well. I think now that's about it. Illinois to Colorado by Amtrak. Now, I think we have an Amtrak over here. I think I can take an Amtrak to Boston. Like, dude, I'm damn near like I'm a drifter. If I didn't have Squirt, I would not be here, right? I literally would not be here, right? I would be gone. I would not be in northern Indiana. I hate it here. There's too many junkies, too many thieves, too many satanic psychopath human beings. And I know satanic psychopath human beings are everywhere. You know, Rutland, Ohio. They're in Rutland, Ohio. They're in South Bend, Indiana. They're in Parkersburg, West Virginia. I know for sure they're in Chicago, Illinois. You know, but like, if I didn't have Squirt, I would literally choose to be homeless. And if I could take a train to Boston, I would fucking absolutely take a train to Boston just to go be homeless, just to see some different scenery. And I don't even care if I have no place to stay or no place to sleep. I don't give a shit. I'm tired of being a slave, and I'm too poor to travel, even if I do work 40 hours a week. You know, I got family members that go to Disneyland, and I have never seen Florida in my entire life, and yet my family members spend hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars to go see Disneyland. And, Henry can go fuck himself. Drives me nuts. Right? They can go on vacation. I've never been on vacation. I've never been, like, on an official paid vacation. Except maybe to Cedar Point. We went to, like, how long did we go to Cedar Point for? We went for, like, 4 or 5 days. That was the only time. And that wasn't even my own family. I had to get a girlfriend who, her mom was, like, a surgeon. And that was the only time I was able to go to a theme park. My own family can't even take me to go see Disneyland, but you know, like it's fucking ridiculous. You know, not that I want to go see Disneyland because Disneyland is an again immoral, satanic, psychopath corporation that doesn't give a fuck about any individual, let alone whether you work for them or not. They don't care about you. They care about money. And that's what I mean. I guess I was invited to go to Florida, but I was like, nah, I don't want to go to Florida to see Disneyland. Fuck off. No, I don't even think that was the case. From what I remember, they said if you want to go to see Disneyland, you need to get $200 to pay for your own ticket. And this was before I was on. I wasn't even 18. I was 17. But anyways, everybody else in my family go see Disneyland. But maybe that's why I hate Disney. Who knows? I don't know. I still don't want to go there. Fucking satanic ass corporation. My hungry stomach is making me brain fart. Oh yeah, we're gonna set sail. We're gonna drift. We're gonna drift around the Sea of Thieves and continue to read the book. I guess I could just drift really slow, right? I could put the sail. I don't have to put the sails all the way down. We don't got to go full speed here. All right, let me knock out some more pages here. We'll get the drift going. Get away from this rain cloud, that's for sure. This is the second storm in 2 hours? Are you serious? Give me a break. Ugh. All right. So, actually, before we're just getting started, I'm gonna take a leak. I'll be right back. Be right back, and we'll get back to the material. Thank you so much if you made it this far. I appreciate you. Thanks for tuning in. We got action. You sons of... Dude, I was using the bathroom. Cowards. Every time I go use the bathroom in Sea of Thieves, I get shafted. Bro, there's a Meg? A Meg and a skeleton? This is safe seas! That's hilarious! I got sunk because I was AFK. In safe seas. Oh, well. Well, so much for drifting around, I guess. What the fluff, dude? Thanks, Rare. I love you too, Rare. Appreciate you guys. Should I drift? Or I mean, I wanted to fight a Skelly, but I didn't think I would get, like, sunk. That. How many shots did they shoot on me while I was gone? Holy Jesus. Man, I was going to take their loot, too. Fudge, man. They put me on the Devil's Roar edge. I basically just need to go straight and west. I need to go out west, because the Devil's Roar has more Skelly ships. I can't believe that just happened. Actually, I do believe that just happened. So we got the Matt Bennett sales right there. Shout out to Matt Bennett. Freaking crazy drifter. So anyways, Illinois to Colorado by Amtrak. I was working part-time for Pier 1 Imports and living at my parents' house, and my mom and I were butting heads about everything as usual. I had been talking to my friend Sean in Colorado, and he suggested I come out there and start over. I thought it over and put in my 2 weeks at my job, bought my train ticket via Amtrak, and that decision was made. I remember saying it at a dinner table that what's done is done and I'm going. This was the beginning of April 2009. Bro, it's freaking straight into the storm. Seriously? This game just gives me no breaks. Santa Claus doesn't give any breaks. Alright, more west though. Let me straighten out and get more west. Too far down south there. Of course, there's a stubborn beagle headbutting the blankets while I'm trying to read from my phone that is in a very specific spot. While I have no hands, thank you, Beagle. Now I'm just spinning in circles. Okay, now we're, kind of on course, not really. Not that we have a course, we're just literally just drifting. Drifting like the Matt Bennett. Actually, let's go through that peak for no reason. So, bought Amtrak ticket, made away, I was at the dinner table, said this was what's done is done, and I'm going. This was the beginning of April 2009. At any rate, I remember my dad dropping me off at Union Station saying something like, Go find happiness, you're not finding it here. Oh, I should probably make sure I'm going. I did it again. Go find happiness, you're not finding it here. I got on the train and now I was off to Denver. I'm pretty sure Naperville, Illinois was the first stop. And then there was another YouTube link, which I wish worked. But I'm not going to look it up because the other one didn't work. And that's what sucks about YouTube, is because if you have an inactive channel, YouTube doesn't care. They're like, well, just delete it. Inactive channel, just delete it. But meanwhile, there's families who have millions and millions of subscribers who do nothing but make videos with their children, and then they encourage their children to put a camel hat on. And it's probably because the monetized YouTube parents are trying to make more money, so they're going to give their child a hat of a corporate tobacco logo to make more money, and nobody's going to bat an eye. There's going to be millions of people still subscribed to this YouTube channel where it's just two parents using their children to make money through YouTube because it's just a cute white family, right? They're so good in white, singing songs together and making dancing videos. Millions and millions of YouTube subscribers. And some of the YouTube subscribers call themselves Christian patriots, blue-blooded Christian patriots. Meanwhile, the family is promoting tobacco company logos on the heads of children. And these people call themselves spiritual Christians. You're nothing but a dumb, idiotic, inbred fucking hypocrite who doesn't understand the difference between right and wrong behavior. But anyways, let me keep reading. And again, some of these fake-ass Christians also voted for Donald Trump. How the fuck can you say you're a spiritual Christian and you voted for a racist pedophile? That's never going to make sense in my brain. It's not going to make sense, period. There's no way how you can spin that to make sense. There's no way you can make that make sense. You can't call yourself a spiritual Christian and then vote for a racist pedophile who's dropping bombs on schools. You're a fucking dunce. All right. YouTube link. I remember to get off the train to smoke, and some dude was just passing around a joint to a few people in a classic circle. Getting back on the train, nice and buzzed, going extremely fast was cracking me up. You felt like you had no control flying down the tracks, even though you're sitting in a seat. I remember writing a bunch of stuff all blazed out of my mind. I also bought a sandwich and 2 Heinekens from the random corner of one of the cars where they sold some food. This was not the diner car, just a random food stand. Oh, what's going on here? Too much going on. I need to get some food. Keep burping. This is a random food stand. I guess you could say eventually I made it to this viewing car where there were tons of huge windows to look out at all the scenery of the world. I started talking to these random people playing cards and eventually asked if I could film them. I told them I was a drifter filmmaker. This one older lady told me I should just live with my parents instead of being a drifter. I told her that's not going to happen. That's hilarious. I told her that's not going to happen. I started asking them on camera where they were going, and then we all just started rambling on and on about the U.S. I remember this old guy with a huge beard going off on a bunch of random tangents. There's a video on YouTube about all of this here's another probably broken YouTube link. Then, when we got to some random stop in the middle of nowhere, Iowa, this cute girl sat next to me. I wish I could remember her name. I remember talking to her about weed, and she was talking about making brownies in college. She was going to Denver to start a new job. We talked for a decent amount of time, and then fell asleep for a few hours. 14 or 15 hours. Oh, wait. The entire train ride took about 14 or 15 hours with random stops along the way. I remember when we first got to the border of Colorado, you started to see classic trailers that people lived out of in the middle of nowhere. We got to the Denver train station a few hours later. It was still somewhat early in the morning when we got there. I talked to some guy who was growing up in the mountains, who was going up to the mountain. Gosh, the way this writing is going up in the mountains to snowboard, and I told him I just drifted here. He said he used to do the same thing, but it got expensive. He asked me if I wanted to ride to my friend's place. He asked me if I wanted a ride to my friend's place, and I told him no thanks. He's picking me up later. Back in the storm, dude. We gotta get out of here. I need to get my revenge on a skelly ship before I end the stream, so now that's my new mission. I'm gonna keep reading and drifting around, because this is Drifter Diaries, but I really need to find a skelly ship so I can redeem myself. God, dude, sailing in the storms is no joke. Pick up the pace a little bit because I do not like sailing in storms. I should anchor right now and just. Actually, you know what? That's a great idea. I'm just gonna anchor right now. Full sails, anchor. That way we can see the sails. We can hang out in just the middle of nowhere. If a skelly ship does pop up on us, hopefully the storm will be gone. I got an empty stomach. Just like keep using the bathroom every 30 seconds too. Empty stomach is not helping. We got Oro? Where's Oro? Oro! Oro! Where'd you go? Lucy! You got some splaining to do! Alright. We are out on the seas, dude. We're in the trenches right now. Alright. Let's keep telling some Drifter Diaries while we're drifting. Middle of nowhere. We got to Denver train station. I was drifting around downtown Denver for ways to chill. Just trunking. Okay. He said... he's picking me up later. He said, good luck. I said the same thing, and we grabbed our bags and we were on our way. I started drifting around downtown Denver, looking for a place to chill until my friend Sean came to pick me up. While I was waiting on this bench, this weird homeless lady came up to me and said, I have a gram of this really good stuff, and I'm really hungry. So I gave her $10 for a gram. Before that happened, she said something like, you look like you'd like this. And I had a huge beard at the time. Then she went and got something to eat. I started talking to this guy who was homeless and selling the Streetwise newspaper. I had some random rolling papers in my backpack, but I'm not very good at rolling J's. It sounds like there's a lot of water on the ship. Why does it sound like that? There's not that much water at all. Nope, now there's a hole. Okay, there's definitely a hole. Will the storm ever end? Is my question. Just all day in the storm. The sun is out and I'm still in the storm. This is the story of my life. Alright, so I suck at rolling J's, said Matt Bennett. So the dude helped me roll a joint. He rolls it, we go into some random alley and smoke it for a bit. He was like, I'm good after a couple hits. He had to get back to the shelter. He was staying at a shelter and was worried about getting back there before they closed. So I just continued to chill and smoke the rest of the joint, getting really high. I kept calling Sean, but he was at work. I remember texting his sister, Kristen. Christine! Cursed. That must be some inside joke. Telling her I'm in town, let's party. I got a sandwich in this amazing sandwich shop, leaving my bags outside the shop, hoping no one would take them. Nothing happened, so I continued to chill on the bench, wait, and eat. I remember seeing this old hippie guy walking by, holding his hands over his ears, doing the whole hear no evil thing. That's when you truly know you're in Denver. And I just heard another hole pop up. What is the ship doing? No such luck on the seas today, bro. No such luck. Sun is out and I'm in the storm. Holes keep popping up. I mean, make it make sense. Where are we at? We're outside of the Devil's Roar. It should not, like, the water should not be this crazy. I don't know. I guess Rare just hates me today. We get no clear skies during this modern day Chautauqua. The Chautauqua. Modern day Chautauqua. Alright. Let's see. Let me make sure my mouse is moving. Make sure you guys can hear me. Whoa, dude, this ship is going crazy. Alright. That's when you truly know you're in Denver. Eventually, my friend Sean came and picked me up. We went back to his place in Lakewood, Colorado. I brought all my stuff in. I think we went to Old Chicago for dinner in Boulder, rather fitting. After dinner, I met some bum who said he could get weed for me. Bums are attracted to me. It's just how it goes. I took some money out of an ATM machine. I think then he could get a hold of the guy or whatever, so Sean and I went back to his place. My goal was to get a job anywhere. I remember finding a thrift store right away, buying some weird clothes, and getting an application because they were hiring Oh my god, dude, what is going on? Another hole popped up, I'm pretty sure. Yep. Dude, I can't tell stories on the seas today. Dude, just got a dark cloud following me. Dark cloud following me. That's what it feels like. And as the sun is out, and my ship is still getting rained on. I'm surrounded by the sun. Sunny seas all directions, and the storm is on top of my dome. But okay, we're gonna keep sailing. Cheese and rice, dude. Cheese and get me out of the storm. Where do I go to get out of the storm? Alright. Finding a thrift store clothes, getting some weird clothes and getting an application because they were hiring. Filled it out, came back later to turn it in, probably drunk. Here's another YouTube link, it's probably broken. I know I drank a lot when I was here. Later, Sean took me grocery shopping, and that was fun as time went on. I found myself blasting more music, making more videos, and partying by myself for days. Drinking alone! Shout out to Dead and Unsara. I really had no motivation to look for work, especially because I was on foot. I found myself at this funny gas station a lot, buying frozen pizzas and burritos and lots of drink mixers. Hold on, I think I just heard another fucking hole. Pretty sure I just heard another hole pop up in my ship. Maybe I didn't. Okay. Is the storm? No, it's still raining. So I'm still gonna have buckets. I'm still gonna have water down here. Son of a... And no skelly ships have popped up? Dude, I'm sinking a skelly ship tonight. Like, even if I stop reading and I continue to Chautauqua for 5 hours searching for a skelly ship to redeem myself, that's what's gonna happen. I have to sink a skelly ship and turn in the loot before the stream's over. I'm sunburned? Why is my face so red? I'm super sunburned, dude. Alright, frozen pizzas, a lot of mixed drinkers. Drink mixers. This is all I ended up wanting to do, and I'm just one of those people who does what he wants to do. One time, Sean took me to the gas station, and I applied there as well. So at this point, I was drinking all of Sean's liquor, eating all of his food. He had to go out of town for the weekend to Steamboat Springs to work on some stuff for his job. So I had the place to myself for like 3 days. As his roommate, Carl, was out of town as well. On Saturday night, I was drinking and remembered I had Dramamine in my backpack. I had experimented with this stuff before. Dramamine. It makes everything really slow. Time takes forever. Hold on. I gotta stop the material. Hey Google, what does Dramamine?
Dramamine, dimenhydrinate, is an over-the-counter antihistamine used primarily to prevent and treat motion sickness, including symptoms like nausea, vomiting, and dizziness. It works by blocking receptors in the brain's vomiting center and dulling the inner ear's sense of motion. Common uses and side effects. Best for travel by car, boat, or plane. Main side effect, significant drowsiness, though less drowsy versions use meclizine.
That's really interesting. I don't think I've ever heard of that. That's really interesting. Like one of my friends who passed away, another name to add to the list. One of my one of my best friends in high school, bro, Eric Quinn. Bro, I fucking love Eric Quinn, dude. He was such a badass. Son of a dude. Let me get all this water out of here. Oh, it looks like we can start drifting again. Where are we at on the map? Dude, I miss Eric Quinn so much. Oh my god. Eric Quinn was a drifter, bro. Like straight up. Eric Quinn was like the drift. He was the drifter before I met Matt Bennett. Like Eric Quinn was all over the place. But unfortunately, actually Eric Quinn didn't he did overdose. He did overdose, but the first time Eric Quinn almost died, he was in a car accident with a bunch of party animals, and they got T-boned. And I think one of the people, I don't know if it's a dude or a chick, but one of the people in the car died in the car accident that Eric Quinn was in. And after that car accident, he was still Eric Quinn, but that car accident definitely traumatized him in some type of way, because that was his friends. His best friend was in that car, and I think they were leaving like a rave. I think of course they were leaving like a rave or a show or something like that, and then they got T-boned, and so then Eric Quinn was still alive for like 4 years after that, and he was just working. I met Eric Quinn in school, but a lot of times we'd end up getting jobs together just throughout the city. And then, once we got a job together, it was like, hey, we knew each other from high school. We got along so well, and like we outperformed everybody at the job, whether it was fucking McDonald's or Wendy's, and we still had fun doing it. And like when you have fun while you're working, some people get like jealous, and I don't know. Working is fucking weird. I'm sure you guys know. But man, I really miss Eric Quinn. I don't know where I was going with that, but let's start. I need to lift up this anchor. I showed you guys the Matt Bennett sales. I know it's for Glitterbeard, but hey, if Matt Bennett went to a strip club, he would be Glitterbeard. So, I'm just gonna call him Matt Bennett sales. I never met Glitterbeard in my life. He sounds like a cool guy, but no disrespect. But so we're back to drifting. Hopefully his fucking Skelly ship will pop up on us. Man, I miss my dead homies, dude. Eric Quinn was so freaking cool. He got it. Eric Quinn gets it. Or, he did get it when he still had a pulse. Man, that was my best friend. But basically Eric Quinn would come over to my house and he would do like whippets. And like nobody else in the house would want to do whippets. He would be like, I'm just gonna do whippets today. That was on his agenda. He was a character. I really do miss him. Rest in peace, Eric Quinn. So Matt Bennett is taking this Dramamine. It makes everything really slow. Time takes forever. Oh, but before I did that, I took a walk and found some random people, and I said, I'm a drifter. Can I come and join the party? They said no. So I just went back home. Yeah, dude, I did that. I did that in West Virginia. I was literally walking by myself playing Pokemon and smoking a joint, and these other guys who were at it was 2 chicks and 1 dude, and they were all smoking a blunt outside of McDonald's. One of the chicks worked there. The other chick was probably a friend, and I'm like, hey, I have a blunt. You guys have a blunt. You guys want to like team up, team blunts, team blunt, team blunts? And they were like, no. And I was like, okay, well, I'm just playing Pokemon. I'll just go fuck myself over this direction or whatever, because we can't share. Or I don't. They were assholes. They looked like junkies. They looked like some weird fucking druggies. Like I said, only one of them was actually working at McDonald's, and the other two were probably fucking just mooching off of the girl smoking her weed. You know, like that's how people are. They're satanic and selfish, and they don't give a fuck. But anyways, I decided to take 15 minutes. I decided to take 15 of the Dramamine pill. That sounds like something Eric Quinn would do. I decided to take 15 of the Dramamine pills, and after it took a bit to kick in. Ooh, excuse me. Let me make sure. I need to head straight north. Actually, I might really slow it up. There we go. Alright, so... they said no. I decided to take 15 of the Dramamine pills, and after it took a bit to kick in, I was pretty messed up, and after a while, I passed out for a while with music pretty loud and woke up outside smoking. Then I noticed a cop driving pretty slow on my friend's block. I kind of panicked, went back inside, and hid upstairs. The cop shined a spotlight in the window, but I was ducked down on the floor, so he went away. I was already pretty freaked out when this happened. And then I got some prank call from friends back home acting as Biff from Back to the Future, I believe. My friend Bill always has random celebrity phone numbers because he's an autograph collector. This is crazy. This is fucking... So he woke up outside smoking after taking 15 Dramamine pills. And the cop drives by. And then the cop shines a spotlight in the window? Like, what a dick. What was the purpose of shining a spotlight in somebody's window? What an asshole. Man, dude, ACAB, bro. All cats are beautiful. All cats are always beautiful. Even though they carry a lot of... Cats carry a lot of parasites for humans, by the way. For anybody who owns cats, you need to do research into how many parasites cats carry that are dangerous for not only humans, but also other animals. Cats are kind of disgusting fucking creatures. And if you die in your apartment, your cat will eat your face off. Your dog will probably eat your face off too if you died in your apartment. After like a week, if your dog gets hungry enough. But your cat will straight up, after 24 hours, if your cat is hungry, your cat will eat your face off. Cats do not give F-bomb. I don't know why I said F-bomb. I've already cussed multiple times on the stream. But anyways. I kind of panicked, went upstairs. I got home, some prank call. My friend Bill has always had random celebrity phone numbers, so he's always... Because he's an autograph collector. So when they pranked me saying something like, Biff's wife is coming after me because I had prank called him so many times, which I really had, in their prank, they said that she was in Colorado looking for me. I didn't know it was a prank and seriously thought this crazy bitch was coming for me because I was all messed up. Oh, that's from the island. Okay, all good. No worries. Turn the sails up a little bit. I thought that was a Skelly ship, man. I'm so ready to sink a Skelly ship. But I was all messed up. Eventually, they called me back, and I figured out who it was and was extremely relieved. So I decided to keep it pretty low-key for the rest of the night. At this point, I had been out here in Colorado over... Son of a... Stupid skeletons, bro. Freaking skeletons launching cannonballs in my ship, dude. Can't wait to teach them a lesson and sell all their loot. Okay, so at this point I've been over Colorado for over a month or something, and nothing productive was really happening. My mom was talking to Sean about what I was doing. Once I found out about this, I pretty much thought I should leave his place and go to the streets. Yeah, I would... Bro, I would... If I was in that position, I would absolutely feel the same way. found out about this, I pretty much thought I should leave his place and go to the streets or figure out how to get back to Chicago. I eventually decided just to go back to Illinois. And this is some green language, some emerald language, right? Emerald language is coming out of Squirt Dog's eyeballs on the Beagle Eye Visions logo. Emerald language, right? So this is Illinois. My friend pointed out to this to me. My friend George. I went on tour with him with Blues and Corduroys. My friend George. George and Jason. Dude, I love these guys. I love you guys. I hope if you guys hear my voice, I love you. And I respect you, Jason and George. But these guys said Illinois. It's ill in noise. Break the word down. You're sick. You're sickened by noise. Ill in noise. And then people say another thing, and people say it's Chicago is the Windy City. Well, why do people call Chicago the Windy City? It's because politicians are always spitting in the wind in Chicago. You know, Donald Trump's got his Trump Tower in Chicago, one of the biggest, tallest buildings in all of Chicago. So what did I just say? Politicians are always spitting in the wind. That's why it's the Windy City. It's the Windy City because the politicians are always spitting in the wind. Illinois. That's why it's so noisy, because all these politicians are spitting in the wind. Illinois. It's crazy when you break words that, like, sure, people say it's wordplay at best. Where do you think our language comes from? Where do you think the S sound comes from? It comes from caveman sitting around the fire, and a snake goes by, and that's where the sound comes from. It comes from dude, study your fucking etymology. Read a fucking book besides the Bible, you know? Read any book. Read multiple books. Read all the books. Stop reading one book. Read multiple books. God, people are so stupid and stubborn. But anyways. Digressing again. I eventually decided to go back to Illinois. I got my mom to buy me a train ticket back. I remember getting some Arby's before the train left, but the next day I had no money for food except some ranch sauce left over from Arby's and cigs. Oh, so he did smoke cigarettes. I thought he just smoked, smoked cigars. So I kind of starved from Iowa back to Union Station. I remember talking to this super tall black guy about being a drifter filmmaker, and he just showed me some video of him being hilarious at this party and said something like, "Go drift and film this kind of stuff." We talked for a while. Train ride back was pretty uneventful. Nothing major to write home about. But my dad picked me up at Union Station later in the afternoon, a couple days after leaving Denver. And I went back to my parents' house. Another strange drift to Colorado. Oh, this is a good one. I can't end the stream. I don't even give a shit if people hit me up to play video games. I literally can't end the stream right here because, I mean, I'll read the headline of the next story after I use the restroom because I really need to eat food. I got the Twisted Tea is flowing through me. Twisted Tea, please sponsor me. And, you know, of course it's garbage liquid. There's no nutrition in this liquid that I'm drinking, so it goes right through my body. My liver processes it. Hardest working liver in the galaxy processes it, and then goes right through me. With the caffeine as well. So, let's take another intermission. Brew yourself some coffee. Well, actually, I'm going to park. I'm going to park just because the last time I went to use the restroom, I came back to a Skelly ship absolutely raining hellfire on me. So I don't want that experience to happen again. I'm going to park next to this ginormous rock. And if a Skelly ship does happen to pop up on me, hopefully they'll hit the rock, in theory. But we're going to drift into this rock. I'll be right back. This next story is going to be sick. I can't wait. I love it. I love it. Can't wait for this next story. Stay tuned. Give me a couple, 2-3 minutes. All right, all right, all right, all right. I don't hear any crazy skeleton ship music, so it looks like I'm clear. Um, I'm so glad I'm streaming Sea of Thieves, and I'm gonna keep going because part of since I'm on the Sea of Thieves content creator crew, part of the requirements of being on the content creator crew is that you have to stream Sea of Thieves for I think it's like at least 5 hours a month. But whenever I stream Sea of Thieves on YouTube, it doesn't seem to count. So I basically, long story short, I still need to stream Sea of Thieves on Twitch to get so I can continue to be on the content creator crew. So I will be streaming some more on Sea of Thieves. Twitch.tv/BeagleEyeVisions. Have you guys tuned in? I started playing Mirror's Edge over there, talking about the allegory of Mirror's Edge. I love Mirror's Edge. So good. Such a good story. The story of Mirror's Edge is phenomenal. And a lot of critics, everyone's a critic. You know, a lot of people shit on the storyline of Mirror's Edge, but it's really good. I think it's a fantastic allegory. But a lot of people don't read books, you know, so they don't, they don't understand. They don't have the sight to see. Real eyes realize real lies. Right? Shout out to Tupac. Tupac Shaker. Okay? Tupac Shaker. Tupac Shaker. Real eyes realize real lies. And that's also a Resin song. But Resin music is extremely underground and it's extremely hard to find. Which sucks, because Resin's music should be on Spotify. It should be everywhere. Resin's music is so phenomenal. Shout out to Douglas Martin, you know. If you don't know who Douglas Martin is, what the hell is your problem? You know who Taylor Swift is, but you don't know who Douglas Martin is? Now I know you don't read books. Not that I don't think Douglas Martin... Has Douglas Martin written a book? I don't know. Somebody put it in the chat below. But okay, so the next story is called Illinois to Fort Wayne, Indiana, with Dude Man Bro. I am in Indiana right now. Fort Wayne, Indiana sucks. Seriously, I do not like Fort Wayne. I mean, there are parts of Fort Wayne that are ghetto, and I love the ghetto parts of Fort Wayne, just like I love the ghetto parts of South Bend. But Fort Wayne sucks. What is the main venue down there that Team Unity was using? The venue, the Underground, or I can't think of the venue out there in Fort Wayne. But there's also Pierre's in Fort Wayne, which I highly doubt Sushi played. Or no, I highly doubt Dude Man Bro played Pierre's, because I don't even think Pierre's was open back then. So, since we're parked here, and I'm going to go do the Skelly camp, right, just to get the orb. So there will be some action on this Chautauqua, but let's get to the story. Illinois to Fort Wayne, Indiana with Dude Man Bro. I believe it was early fall 2011 when I was working at Kohl's overnight here in Elmhurst, Illinois. Noah's band, Dude Man Bro, with Andy as the drummer. I don't think Kevin was in that band. Noah's band, Dude Man Bro, were going to Fort Wayne, Indiana to record their record. He needed me to come along to be a cameraman for the recording in the studio. I remember having to get out some family function to go, but I did. I rode with Andy, the keyboardist, and basically the other main half of Dude Man Bro. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, he is the other half. As their drummer and bassists would change up a lot due to conflicting schedules. So Andy and I took off. I remember passing Kohl's, telling the building, "See ya." Oh, and I was able to go because a truck shift had been canceled. So I had Thursday through Sunday off, which is the time allotted to go be a cameraman. I also just remembered that I went grocery shopping for a bunch of food, as this was the first time I had pulled the drifter food stamp trick here in Illinois. The old drifter food stamp trick. Yeah, Skatopia encourages people to get food stamps too, right? It's like, hey, we're anarchists, and it's immoral. Food stamps are inherently immoral. Food stamps are immoral because instead of going and knocking on your neighbor's door and saying, hey, other human being, I'm struggling with food this month, can you help me out? Instead of going and knocking on your neighbor's door, you're having the government, the big mafia government, go and rob your neighbor's paycheck. And if your neighbor refuses to have their paycheck robbed, they go to prison through taxation. So food stamps are immoral, and Skatopia encourages homeless drifters to go and get food stamps for money. And again, the people over at Skatopia say, hey, the government robs you, it's okay for you to rob them, right? Not like morality, be the bigger man and do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. No, just be bottom scum, just like the bottom scum government that rules this entire fucking country. Just be bottom scum. Hey, they steal, so why don't we steal too? You know, and then they're gonna say that they're gonna say that they're anarchists, right? They're gonna go out and tell the public that these people are anarchists. That's not anarchy. You are robbing, just like the bottom scum fucking government. You are scum. Encouraging people to use food stamps makes you scum. And I've said it before so many times on this channel. If there are people out there who need food stamps, there are people out there raising children and they can't afford food. There are people out there who have used food stamps the proper way, right, and fed their children, and then they got back on their feet, and then they got off food stamps immediately. I know people who have done that, but a majority of the people who use food stamps use the government, use food stamps to get T-bone steaks, feed their children the most gourmet shit you ever seen in your life, and then they go and spend their money on cigarettes and alcohol. You know, that's the majority of the American population. Using food stamps on food and then turning around and buying cigarettes with their extra money that they saved because the government gives them food. It's a joke. It's a vicious cycle. It's a fucking joke. Anybody who uses food stamps needs to go get a real fucking job. You need to become an adult, buckle up by the bootstraps, stop selling your ass on OnlyFans, and get a real job. Stop robbing your neighbor. Stop encouraging the government to be violent on your behalf. Grow some balls and grow some fucking responsibility and become an adult. Food stamps are so immoral. It's a fucking scam. But anyways, he needed... I rode with Andy. The keyboardist, and basically the other half of me. So Andy and I took off. I remember seeing Coles, see ya, cameraman. I also just remembered that I went grocery shopping for a bunch of food. This is the first time I had pulled the drifter food stamp trick here in Illinois. I think Andy and I had to stop at Walmart on Route 83 for a few things as well. Anyways, we hit the road in Andy's small car, Teresa. It was an old two-door hatchback of some kind, but it had a killer pickup, like a go-kart type of car. We were driving along I-80 towards Indiana. Yep, I-80. I know it well. I know I-80 well. And again, there are people... I shouldn't be dancing. And let me take a seat. Let me continue my rant here. And again, like, there are people out there who are in college who are using food stamps. Hey, guess what? College is nothing but a communist indoctrination system to farther brainwash you and make you into a dumb idiot who doesn't read books, a dumb idiot who refuses to read books. So there are people out there who are in college that get food stamps. College is a communist indoctrination system that nobody who is intelligent is going to pay money to go to college. Period. If you are in college, you are not intelligent. You are a fucking idiot. You know, ostracize me, record it, clip this live stream, share it. Beagle Eye Vision thinks that anybody who goes to college is a fucking idiot. You know, put it on live stream, make me go viral. I don't care. It's true. If you go to college, you are an idiot, especially if you pay for college. And then if you pay for college and you use the government to rob your neighbors to feed yourself, then that just shows how much of an idiot you are. You don't care about rights. You don't care about your neighbors. You don't care about anybody but yourself. You're a satanic piece of trash. If you're going to college and you are using food stamps, you are a satanic piece of dolt trash. You know? You need to start gaining some real responsibility. Let me zoom in the camera. You need to gain real responsibility, read some books, and learn what the difference between right and wrong behavior is, because communism is immoral, and college inherently is pushing communism and all of these agendas. It's immoral. Anybody who goes to college is immoral. Anybody who uses food stamps is immoral. Get a real job. You know, take real responsibility. But that's the whole entire thing with this country, is that nobody wants responsibility. It's just vote. Vote and give the responsibility to the racist pedophile. I don't have to condone any of the evil actions. The racist pedophile will do it for me. I don't have to go and blow up a school. I just have to go to work and pay for the missiles to blow up school, and I will encourage it because I'm a dumb, inbred jackass. But anyways, had myself muted there. I-80 Indiana, back to the material. Andy always has such an eclectic, random types of music to listen to, which is honestly so refreshing. Yes, it really is. Compared to listening to your typical radio stations, it's nighttime and there is obviously not much to see, even if it's daytime, since the Midwest is so flat. We agreed along the way that we were great traveling buddies, as we are pretty easygoing guys. I miss Andy, dude. Andy is such a badass. I really miss Andy. Andy ate... Like, okay, this is going to make the stream 18 and up, but Andy ate my ex-girlfriend's, West Virginia. Andy ate my ex-girlfriend's mom's asshole on stage at Skatopia. Hilarious. I mean, that action is not a legendary action in itself, but it's kind of a crazy life story. And Andy's just, you know, he's a character. He's that type of character. As we are a pretty... couple of easygoing guys. A couple of funny things happened along the way. First, we totally missed this one exit that was towards Fort Wayne and had to do the classic turnaround at a CDBP gas station in buttfuck Indiana. Yeah, we've done that so many times. In fact, one of my ex-girlfriends puked in a random BP gas station in buttfuck Indiana. Oh, man. I think we had to take a potty break anyways, so other than driving like 30 minutes out of the way, it sort of worked out in a funny way. But those are the things you have to laugh about on road trips. Absolutely. Anyways, I think it's about a 4 or 5 hour drive to Fort Wayne. That sounds about right. Not super short, but not ridiculous in a day. So we got back on track and kept on course. The other funny thing I remember was that I just brought an empty bowl with no weed in it for the trip. My plan was to scrap it and get high on the resin. Speaking of resin, throughout the trip. Oh, scrape it. Scrape it. See, that's a typo. It says scrap. Like, you can't scrap a bowl, bro. To scrape it. There was going to be plenty of green when we got there. So I wasn't really worried about that. So I scraped and scraped along the way and got a few hits here and there. It worked out okay. Let me get some action here. I said I was going to do this Skelly fort, but I don't know. I mean, I really want to, just to have the action. I wish somebody else was in here with me so they could do the Skelly fort, and then I could just tell the story while they figure out the constellations and the alignments, and then I could tell the story, and then when the skeletons come out of the ground, I can help with the Skellies. You know what I mean? But I don't have anybody who wants to make content with me, like, on that level. The only people I find that want to make content together are OnlyFans chicks. And I'm like, bro, like, I have tattoos. I don't want to, like, you're going to blur out all of my tattoos? My entire torso is going to be blurred out. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So, I don't want to make content with you on OnlyFans. So you can get all the profit, and I get nothing out of it. Besides some action. Okay, it worked out okay. We got to this guy Jeff's house, where the studio is located kind of late, but that was expected, as we did not leave until 7 or 8 p.m. None of this mattered, as Noah and Jeff and I think the bassist at the time, Turkey, and a maybe Matt the drummer was there, as well as Nathan, the bassist. That was a very confusing sentence. I'm trying to remember if they also came that night or in the morning. Regardless of those details, getting there late did not matter, as everyone who was there was partying. And so we had a crazy wild night of whiskey and green and beer and food. I remember a lot of laughs and just being super nuts. I also know we had to be up early the next day, but we are all high energy people, so hangovers never really stopped us from getting at it early on in the morning. Yeah, hanging out with, dude, Kevin Williams is not in this story, but yeah, hanging out with Kevin Williams, and he's a father, dude. Fucking legend, bro. I miss Kevin Williams Kevin, I miss you so much, bro. If you hear me, I love you. And he's traveling with his kids recently. Actually, he's just being a freaking badass father and take care of his kids. And I saw him on Facebook the other day. He's hanging out with his kids and just traveling. Him and the kiddos were traveling, having a good old time, dude. I'm super happy for him. Do miss him, though. Do miss him to death. He's a character, man. But that's, me and Matt always talk about how, like, punk rock shows used to have characters. You used to meet so many crazy people. Now, quote-unquote, punk rock shows nowadays, there's no character. There's no guy passed out in the back of the venue. You know what I mean? Like, a real punk rock show should always have an old guy, probably most likely with gray hair, maybe a gray beard, right? Just passed out in the back. All of the best punk rock shows always have an old fart passed out in the back. You know, maybe even holding a beer in his hand, right? Typically, you know, hit or miss if he's got a beer in his hand. Such good stuff, dude. That's a good punk rock show. Bender Ballroom here in South Bend. Now it's only Stories because the venue got shut down. But the Bender Ballroom had some of the best punk rock shows and metalhead shows ever. Ever. But now I'm ranting on about random Northern Indiana history. So that one's closing. Got the feather. Got the turtle. Gold. We got Gold Hawk on the left right there. Gold Hawk, and I got the fish though too, right? Got the fish and the feather. So just a Gold Hawk? Where'd the Gold Hawk go? I just saw it actually. Gotta get gold somehow, right? Just chilling. Shoot, where'd the hawk go? It's upstairs. That's why I can't see it. But anyways, I would have really liked to do this in one episode. I don't think I'm gonna make it. I don't think I'm gonna make to do the whole Chautauqua in one episode. I just don't have the attention span. I've already been going. It's been 3 hours now. I haven't done any of my finals dailies. I haven't done any Fortnite dailies. Not that I care about Fortnite dailies. I barely care about finals daily. No, this new season of the finals is freaking sick. It's honestly awesome. So we need a crab and a fox. There's the fox. Okay, so where did I leave off? I slept in some weird... the next morning did come fast, as they always do after a crazy night of partying. I lost how far I was going. There's the fox, so I think I can make it right there. Oh yeah, perfect. We'll have to get some action here. A little bit of action. The next morning did come fast, as always they do after crazy night of partying, but in this case, it was way down to business as fast as everyone was up and curing their hangovers with green and food. Everybody was curing their hangovers with green and food. I remember smoking cigs in the garage and only drinking and smoking in the studio. I slept in some weird closet, and I remember Noah quickly waking me up saying, "Oh yeah, time to film!" So like a crazy trooper, I was up and usually demanded a bowl right off the bat. Hell yeah, Matt. Makes sense, dude. You gotta get that green, man. Green beans. Eagle eye vision. All right, this shouldn't take long here. Yep, this is the captain right here. So this is the last wave of skellies I gotta deal with. And we'll get back to the material. All right, so everybody was up, filming, getting their mind right. Oh yeah, time to film right off the bat. So everybody got in their positions, and it was time to record and film for this record. looking back, this is a pretty awesome experience to be a part of. I actually decided to put this story in last minute. So we had a long day of recording ahead of us. A lot of takes, a lot of stopping and starting with the camera for me. Which in my opinion, as... Hold on. A lot of takes, a lot of stopping and starting the camera for me. Which in my opinion, as one with a decent amount of experience filming bands, this is the most challenging part of being a cameraman. As there are many questionable times of starting and stopping on the basis of what the musician wants to capture. It gets a little hairy from time to time from each side's perspective. I would say most of the album was covered throughout the day, take after take. It was all very repetitive, but what isn't in life? There would be drink, food, and smoke breaks as well. And now I need to get up to the ship. I really need to get up to the ship and make sure I don't sink. Make sure I'm not sunk. So get some of this gold. It was all very repetitive. There would be drink, food, and smoke breaks as well. We would always consume everything so fast that there would always be talk about an eventual run to the store. Eventually, I remember at least Andy, the drummer, Matt, and I went to some huge grocery store and stocked up on a bunch of things, as somehow I had more food stamp money than I thought. I always loved shopping in other states. It's just a weird drifter thing. Yeah, no, absolutely. When I did a show... I did a show with Blues and Corduroys in I think it's in Villa Park, or I might be wrong. Or it might be in Glen Ellen. It was kind of it was an upper class area. We went to some order following fucking coward's house. And had I would have known it was some order following fucking coward, I probably wouldn't have played his garage. Because this order following coward was a recruiter. So his job was to go to high school and convince kids before the age of 18 to sign up and join the military to become a man and fight for your country. Yeah, I regret playing that show, even though the show is a lot of fun. And the bean dip that one of these order-following cowards' wives made, the bean dip she made, she said she found it from a TikTok recipe. That bean dip was phenomenal. Oh my... Me and my woe man that I was dating at the time, we literally sat in the kitchen by ourselves eating this bean dip for like an hour. We ate half of this bean dip by ourselves. It was so good. I love that. I missed that bean dip. That was so good. But yeah, I played a show at an order following coward's house. I didn't know it was an order following coward's house, but it was a great show. We had fun. He let us stay the night at his order following coward's house, which was kind of cool. I get thanks for letting me play your garage or whatever. God, you fucking loser! God, if I would have known before, I probably I didn't fight the guy, right? Because I was sleeping at his house. I'm not gonna hey, I'm gonna get into a fist fight with you so me and my girlfriend can be homeless on on this night when we're staying in Chicago, right? God, what a loser! I really hate that guy. Fucking going to high schools and recruiting underage. You're a pedophile, dude. Your job is to go recruit underage kids to join the military. You're a pedophile. Your job is being a pedophile. To brainwash kids who aren't 18 yet to want and get the motivation to join the military. And of course they go home and they go to their moms hey mom, I want to join the military today. And their dumbass mom, who's a spineless fucking coward, is you want to fight for your country? Yeah, go ahead, son. It'll break my heart, but yeah, go fight for your country. I'm a fucking idiot who doesn't read books. But anyways, I need to stay to the material. Let me take another 3-minute break. Welcome to Beagle Eye Visions. We can take 3-minute breaks every 30 minutes when we're ranting, especially telling stories. I'm sitting here telling stories about drifter diet. I'm telling drifter stories. Partying outside of states and Chicago and stuff. It's gotta have a grog or two, right? Fucking shoot me. Gotta have a fucking grog. Fucking Mike Noski. Play the pokies. Scroll on the pokes. Let's get some pokes. Hang out with some blokes. Drink some cokes and smoke some smokes. But anyways, I'll be back. We will continue this Indiana life story. I think this will be the last one. Which there's a page and a half left of this drifter diary of Indiana with Dude Man Bro. And then we'll finish that up. We'll find a Skelly ship so I can redeem myself. And we'll end this modern day Chautauqua. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate you if you made it through all my rants and all of my tangents and you know, yada yada yada. Me being a human. AI is taking over, dude. Like the content like this is not going to exist in 10 years. As long as people keep worshiping government and worshiping racist pedophiles, technology and videos like this are not going to exist. Everything's gonna be AI, computer, fucking robot. Nobody's gonna be working. You know, it's gonna be 1984, Brave New World. Nobody's gonna have to work a job. And if you get a little bit upset, you're required to take a pill. You know, like Brave New World. You're required to take a pill if you get, your levels are off. You need to get your levels adjusted. Here, take this Soma, dude. You're getting too angry. You're speaking the truth too much. You know what I mean? Like this content is in 20 years, it's gonna be non-existent. So appreciate it while you got it. And there's 2 people tuned in anyway. So like fuck. So it's gonna be AI, artificial intelligence. There's gonna be no real intelligence. It's all artificial. Sponsored by Disney. Anyway, I'll be right back. All right, welcome back to Beagle Eye Visions. Thank you for staying tuned and staying gold. I remember I had to flip my laundry, which I was being rude. There's other people waiting to do their laundry, and I didn't flip their laundry because I was live streaming. So now I had to flip my laundry, and I got the laundry started. And the new load started, and there's the load into the dryer. So I gotta remember to do all that. I'm coming across my limit of twisted tea, too. I can only drink X amount of twisted teas until Sunday, which, speaking of Matt Bennett, Sunday we will be recording a brand new episode of Crazy Life Stories. So make sure you tune into Crazy Life Stories on Spotify, because we will be recording, probably talking about this live stream, to be honest. And yeah, I don't know. World War III is going on right now. How's life for everybody? Schools are getting blown up and bombed for no reason by order-following cowards. Let's talk about it. No, we're going to keep talking about Crazy Life Stories, Drifter Diaries. So now that I have loot on the ship, I'm going to sail north. That's the outpost. I need to sail north. I really want to redeem myself for the Skelly ship that sunk me earlier on the stream. I'm not ending the stream until I redeem myself. So we're going to head north. We have there is treasure on the ship, so that will increase the odds of Skelly ships popping up. And crack open another tea, and then get back to the stories. But anyways, government is slavery. Natural law is the answer to freedom. Freedom is another word for responsibility. That's what I wrote in my next book review, which has been coming along swimmingly. The next book review has been coming along great. Very excited. We're hanging out with Seiki and Judge Uka in Japan for the next book review. The sequel of the Judge Uka Seiki series. I don't know what to call it. By Dorothy and Thomas Hubler. That's going to be the next book review for the next first of the month. I'm very excited. These books are phenomenal with the Seiki series, the Seiki Samurai series. Good stuff. You learn about Japanese history. You learn Japanese words. So you're learning you're learning Japanese words and the language and the culture and the history of the samurai. And it's also a mystery tale, so it's very intriguing. It's got you asking questions. You want to figure it out. You want to keep flipping the pages, figure out who's doing this, who is setting the city of Edo on fire. You know, unlike the garbage Fallout TV show that just did nothing but destroyed the lore of all of our favorite video games. One of our favorite video game franchises on the entire planet. The lore is destroyed. Fallout doesn't exist anymore. Fallout 5 is going to be a worthless piece of trash, just like GTA 6, because all these corporations are woke as fuck, and they only use the LGBTQ logo when it's convenient, and at a time of the year that makes them more money. But anyways, let's finish up this Northern Indiana story so I can hang out with my dog. I would say most of the album was covered. It's all very repetitive. Recording cameras is all very repetitive. Eventually I remembered at least Andy, the drummer, Matt, and I went to some huge grocery store. Blah, blah, blah. Oh yeah, we went to a grocery store when I played that show with the Order Fallen Cowards house. We went to a grocery store, and like me and Nick Wagner, Nick swagged out Wagner. We were ooh, there's some loot over there. They were like doing White Claw samples at this, I think it was a Walmart we went to, or a Myers. They were doing White Claw samples. So me and Nick Wagner were like, we went and got as many samples as we possibly could. It was so awesome. And then Nick Wagner, before the party started, as kind of like an energy, a kind of a good omen energy type of thing, Nick Wagner literally went and roamed around the entire neighborhood, and he made this custom bouquet of flowers using all of the neighbors. Like, so he he picked a flower. He didn't go to like one neighbor's house and pick out a dozen flowers. He picked out one flower out of each neighbor's house, and he made this little homemade bouquet. And it was this beautiful fucking thing that he put on the stage, or near the stage, before the show started. He went out on his bike, and in the local surrounding neighborhood, he just gathered all these flowers and brought this huge bouquet of flowers back on his bike for good energy for the party. Like, what a beautiful thing. Like, he didn't have to go out and do that. He could have just went and played guitar and tuned his guitar bore. But he went out of his way to make sure the party of the energy was flawless and amazing and that there was no drama. And he went out and got a bouquet of flowers out the neighbor. Like, I just thought that was so cool. Nick Wagner's a legend. I miss him. Speaking of people I miss, you know, Nick Wagner and Eric Quinn. These guys are legends, dude. Hope Nick Wagner's doing okay. Nick Wagner, dude, if you hear my voice, bro, tune in to Beagle Eye Visions more often, man. How's life been treating you, bro? I need to give you a phone call, man. How are there no Skelly ships popped up yet? This is ridiculous. Turn right, go back north. Well, I guess we'll just keep drifting around. I'll keep drifting and keep reading. Make some money today, boy. Yeah, I gotta get up tomorrow and just apply for jobs, really. Like, I gotta apply for more jobs. So stupid. And people judge me for not being able to hold a job. It's like, yeah, I don't always want to. One time I was on my way to work, taking the bus, public transportation, on my way to work. This guy tried to pay me money to get off of the bus at his house so he could whack it and I could watch him. He was going to pay me $20 for me to be in his bedroom while he whacked it. These are the type of guys that you encounter on the bus. So yeah, not every fucking day, especially when I work 8 to 10 hour shifts, I don't want to take the bus and deal with these people every day. I'd rather just get myself a scooter or a car, but cars are so expensive because I live in a fucking scam America. And then everybody in my family judged me because, like, why can't you hold a job? Because I don't have a car. When was the last time you held a job without a vehicle? Most of these people don't hold jobs without a vehicle. They can't hold jobs without vehicles. They even say, I have to get my vehicle. I gotta get my car. You know? It's like, well, dude, you put yourself in my shoes for a fucking day, motherfucker. Any Hoosiers. Northern Lights are back. It looks beautiful. Love the seagulls. Alright. I would say most of the album was covered. Oh, wait, no, I already keep rereading the same thing. I always love shopping in other states. It's always just a weird drifter thing. So we did that, stocked up on beer as well, I believe. Cause Zag. Because that always goes super fast. Okay, I see what he's trying to say. And it was back to the studio to get many more takes and film sessions done. I'm pretty sure Friday and Saturday were recording days, and everyone but Noah and Andy left on Sunday. I drove home with Matt and Nate in Andy's car. Is that Matt and Noah in Andy's car? I think it might be a typo. So that was random and hilarious. I remember talking about politics and legalizing weed. Oh, we're getting too close to the outpost here. I'm trying to get a Skelly ship, so I guess we'll just keep going. Because sometimes Skelly ships will pop up pretty close to the outpost. But, remember talking about politics and legalizing weed and other hilarious subjects. It was a fun drive / drift home. Pretty easy drive, nothing crazy happened, and then Matt and Nate went home. And then somebody drove, it just says, I then drove Teresa back to Elmhurst, and Andy was going to pick her up in a couple of days. Oh, shoot, where'd it go? Overall, it was a very cool experience and fun. Not extremely far drift, but far enough to get away from Chicago. Oh, yeah, Sunday, before we left, I went into Fort Wayne Skate Park with Noah to help him film some skateboarding. Oh, this is getting good. Hell yeah. Dude, where's the Skelly ships? I mean, I'm almost at 4 hours. I might just call it and dip out. And, yeah, I don't know. Read a book, I guess. Like, as much as I've been preaching about people needing to read a book, nobody hit me up to play video games. Nobody's on Discord. Nobody's sailing seas. It's Friday. And, yeah, so probably everybody's out having fun with their friends. And, I'm just here hanging out with a beagle who's passed out in my bed. And I have nothing to do but get a job tomorrow. Which is typical. Especially when you work in kitchens. You know, when you work in kitchens, typically you have to work on weekends. You have to work on all holidays. You have to go to work on 4th of July when everybody else is shooting fireworks and having fun. That's 99.99999%. That's exactly what happens when you work in kitchens. So, you know, I'm kind of used to it. You know, Friday, I'm used to just working. So I'll probably just, I don't know, end the live stream, do my finals dailies, maybe read some of the book I was reading earlier before the interview. Might go skate. Honestly, I might go skate. I don't know. Skate down to the gym. Spin the gym a few times. Yeah, let me turn in. I'm going to head out to the outpost. Turn in. I've sank plenty of Skelly ships. The only time a Skelly ship can sink me is when I'm AFK. It's the only time. It's the only time. It's okay. I'll bite the bullet this time. But anyways, oh yeah, Sunday before I left, went to Fort Wayne skate park with Noah to help him film some skateboarding, where he would then attract a small crowd and would tell them about Dude Man Bro and give out a few t-shirts. I never got a Dude Man Bro t-shirt. I'm jealous as fuck. Noah and I would do this at skate parks around various areas, especially on the way to Skatopia, which is talked about towards the end of this book. Otherwise, that is pretty much it for this interesting cameraman recording session for Dude Man Bro. Keep reading if you dare. Smiley face. I love it. Freaking love it. I love his way of writing is very interesting. So, yeah, I mean, pretty decent stream here. Thank you guys so much if you made it so far. I really appreciate you. Shoot, yeah. Keep grinding, man. Whatever you do. The Illusion was talking about, and I'm going to talk about it on Crazy Life Stories podcasts this weekend on Sunday, is The Illusion, Hamish Patterson here on YouTube. Love Hamish Patterson, dude. He's one of the only YouTubers that I still have trust in. You know, we all know what happened to Mr. Beast and Dr. Disrespect. You know, these guys, these pedophiles. Again, all of these pedophiles are on the same platform. What a coincidence, right? You know, it's like, but anyways, I don't know what I was ranting about just now. Maybe tomorrow, after I fill out a stupid amount of job applications, maybe tomorrow I will continue this modern day Chautauqua, and we will keep going. But I guess this is going to be a two-parter, basically. A two-parter Chautauqua, and yeah, study natural law, dude. Study natural law. Study morality. Morality is objective. I'm going to sell some loot. Matt Bennett is a legend, and not only is he a legend, he's a working class legend. Like a lot of the, you know, if you follow the channel, I've been ranting about skinheads a lot lately. And Matt Bennett he's a working class, but he's not a skinhead, which I guess doesn't mean anything. Matt Bennett works his butt off. He writes books. He does art. He does podcasts, and he doesn't ask for much. He just wants to make enough money to be able to, buy some reefer and earn enough money to live with shelter. You know what I mean? But with government makes it increasingly harder and harder to just be a human being and exist without money. Because the overwhelming majority of people that just support this bullshit think it's okay. Thinks it's all okay that a racist pedophile is in office. I guess that's why the overwhelming majority isn't subscribed to be isn't subscribed to Beagle Eye Visions. But whatever. There's guys out there who are doing it better than I do, like Larkin Rose and Sean McCann over at Wake the Dead podcast, and Nate Cap over at Cubbyhole podcast, and the immoral co-host at Cubbyhole podcast, the immoral habitual liar of a co-host at Cubbyhole podcast. There's guys that are talking about morality and talking about rights and true freedom and natural law, and they're doing it in ways better than I can have imagined, with tools better than I could ever afford. And still, they're doing it more professionally than I am, and they're doing it better than I am, and still people refuse to pay attention. You know what I mean? So, it's tough. What do you do? Keep live streaming and talking about Chautauquas and trying to educate people. I guess that's what you could do. If somebody is a habitual liar, maybe grow some balls and call out the habitual liars of our society, and then maybe they can redeem themselves and stop being habitual fake ass punk ass liars. Right? That's the idea, anyway. But anyways, small minds talk about people, average minds talk about events, and great minds talk about ideas. So let's talk about ideas. So, without further ado, thank you so much if you made it this far. I really appreciate you. Make sure you tune into all of the modern day Chautauquas, even though some of them I get very sloppy and unprofessional. But it's all about the message, man. The message still remains the same. And in 20 years, if Beagle Eye Visions is still going, I guarantee that the message will still be the same. Government is slavery. Religion ties you back. It thwarts you from forward progress. The truth is combative. But the truth is important, and the truth is worth fighting for. Get as offended as you like, as Mark Passio of What on Earth is Happening says. Get as offended as you like. I'm offended when people vote for racist pedophile orange men. Actually, to call that guy a man is fucking deplorable. But, hey, I'm offended when orange men, racist pedophiles drop bombs on schools. But, all I can do is raise my voice and talk about it on the internet, because I'm poor. And I have morals. Most moral people are very poor, unfortunately. Maybe someday the tables will turn where moral people will become financially rich and not just rich in love. You know what I mean? Maybe someday. Right? Like, I want a Mini Cooper, man. Is that so much to ask for? I just want a Mini Cooper. Supercharged. Maybe convertible. Is that so much to ask for? Dude, I've been working. I've been working since I was 17. I'm working for 20 years straight. I just want a Mini Cooper, dude. Or a Corvette. I know for sure at this point, I know I'm never going to be able to afford a 007 Aston Martin. Or let alone a 007 one. Any Aston Martin on this planet. I'm never going to afford one of those. But, like, I can be satisfied with a Mini Cooper. I won't kill myself. I'll do the speed limit. Like, just give me, just, like, you know. I want to see Boston. You know, like, I was born in America. I want to see Boston. Like, fuck. I'm not asking to murder somebody. I'm not asking to, like, murder anybody. I'm not asking for anybody to kill themselves for me. I just, you know, I want to see Boston and live long enough to own a Mini Cooper. Like, fuck, dude, it's, fuck. Like, not asking a lot here. But anyways, thank you so much. Thank you for tuning in to Be Live Visions. Read books, everybody. Read books are so important. Read books, Drifter Diaries. Read intellectual books like The Trivium. Read artful books like The Prophet by Khalil Gibran. Read The Art of War by Sun Tzu. Read The Gold Standard by Ari Gold. Read any book by Stuart Woods. Read any story by H.P. Lovecraft. Stephen King is a sketchball because he's got a lot of child pedophilia in his books, but, you know, I think Nightmares and Dreams Case is a good book. The Stephen King book, somebody stole the copy of my fucking book, of course, so I can't remember. Needful Things. Needful Things. Needful Things. Fantastic book. Dude, Needful Things is such a good book. I think there's some phenomenal allegory in that book. But, like I said, it got stolen. I had a tote full of hardcover Stephen King books stolen by junkies as I continue to get my shit stolen on a daily basis. You know, I want to live life without getting my shit stolen. Is that so much to ask? Matt Bennett wants to live his life without getting his paycheck stolen by the government through taxation. He wants to live life and go to work and be able to afford an apartment. Is that so much to ask? Like going to work 40 hours and still being able to afford a place to live. Is that really so much to ask? I mean, man. But anyways, before we hit 4 hours, I'm probably going to go eat some food, watch the TV show From on Amazon, and try to find some more allegory in that TV show. Very interesting TV show. Probably read some books on Seiki and Judge Uka in the Samurai series for the next book review. Do some notes. Apply some jobs tomorrow. Try not to hate my life. And do my best to stay tuned and stay gold. Be Live Vision signing off in my undies.